And we are live. What is going on, everybody? Welcome into the stream tonight. First one in a few days. And we are ready to have some fun with some Western Conference action between the Edmonton Oilers and Anaheim Ducks. This is a big one for the Edmonton Oilers. They are still 3 points back of the LA Kings, who won last night over the Winnipeg Jets to extend that cushion back to 3. Edmonton gets a chance tonight to close it back to 1 point as that battle for second spot in the Pacific Division continues. Edmonton is currently on a 3-game winning streak. They're 7-2-1 in their last 10 games, playing very good hockey right now, and obviously trying to extend that winning streak to 4, get themselves back to within 1 point of LA in the second spot. So this is a big game for Edmonton. Anaheim, obviously, they don't have much left to play for at this point, except for pride and trying to play spoiler. And they actually just won their first game in like 3 weeks against the Arizona Coyotes the other night. So, you know, Anaheim finally gets back into the win column for the first time in a while. We'll see if they can carry that momentum over and see what kind of fight they can put up tonight. So it's going to be an interesting one. Obviously, Edmonton, this is a much more meaningful game for Edmonton. But as we've seen throughout the NHL over these last few weeks, don't ever count out the teams that are playing spoiler, because they get dangerous when they have nothing to play for. So welcome in, everybody. Thank you guys for being here. We got HP, Weed and Wrestling, Yoliana, Luke, Brian, BC Transportation, Victoria, Austin, Ryan, Dan, Evan, TCB, Derek. What is up, everybody? Welcome in. Thank you guys so much for being here. Really, really appreciate it. Ducks getting back in the win column in their last game. Oilers riding a pretty good stretch here with 7 out of 10 in their last 10 games. This is going to be an interesting one. We'll see which way it goes. Going to get the poll up in the chat now so you guys can get your votes in on who you think is going to win. I certainly think I know which way you guys are going to vote, but we'll have to wait and see once they're actually cast. So we got the Oilers on the road, the Ducks at home, and it is up in the chat so you guys can get your votes in and let me know what you think. I'm expecting the Oilers to win tonight, but you know, there's certainly no guarantee. We've seen teams that are playing spoiler kind of play spoiler and do a pretty good job of it, and find ways to find ways to steal some games against opponents you wouldn't necessarily expect them to beat. So you can't take anything for granted in the NHL. Nothing's a guaranteed win. You still got to go out there and play hockey and you know, bring a good effort to win each and every night. Alex, what is going on? Welcome. Thank you for being here. Dan, perfect example of a team playing spoiler right there. Flyers with a 2-0 lead over the Rangers. Perfect example of what I'm talking about right there. So you still got to show up and play. Nothing is an easy win. Joey, what's going on? Welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. Well, it's complicated, Ryan. I mean, it was definitely... it's kind of against the code to go after a star player like that. But at the same time, Anaheim didn't really have anybody that stepped up and protected Terry either. It's a situation where there's a lot of people at fault for the whole thing happening, and things on both sides should have been done better. You know, I think Anaheim, you know, you can't just stand there and watch your star 30-goal guy get used as a punching bag like that. Like, somebody else has got to step in there, especially in a 5-0 game. Like, I mean, that's line brawl time at that point. That is full-on line brawl time. Everybody jumps in and protects their guy. But Jay Beagle, I mean, if you're a fourth liner like Beagle, he should know better than to be going after a 30-goal guy like that. I mean, that's just not smart on his part. I mean, both sides could have handled that whole thing better. The other thing is, I find it very ironic that it was Jay Beagle for Arizona having no problem going after Troy Terry when this guy, I remember not fighting for years after getting KO'd by Aaron Asham when he was with the Capitals. And I don't remember exactly what year that was. I think it was around like 2011 or something like that when Aaron Asham absolutely destroyed Jay Beagle, knocked him straight out in a fight. And Beagle didn't fight for years after that. So you're telling me that Beagle can't fight for years in the NHL because he got KO'd, but he has no problem going after a guy who literally never fights in Troy Terry? That's like, talk about, picking your spot if you're Beagle there. I think Beagle deserves to get his ass kicked for it. And I don't know if those teams play again this year or not, but if they do, somebody on Anaheim better be ready to absolutely treat him like a punching bag. Well, Austin, if you read my community tab post today, the Leafs in Tampa Bay game is on NHL Network tomorrow, so I have no way of watching it. So if I can't watch the game, obviously I'm not doing it. Next Penguins game, Matthew, is Thursday night against the Rangers. I'll be doing Pittsburgh against New York Thursday night. Bruin, what is going on? Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Really, really, really appreciate it. Real Deal, welcome in. Thank you for being... Oh, they don't play again. Yeah, I figured that this late in the season they probably didn't play again, but I wish they did, because Anaheim could dress somebody that would do a number on Jay Beagle. I mean, it's not like Jay Beagle's a noted fighter. Guy gets KO'd once and doesn't fight for another decade. Oh, yeah. Oh, it was beautiful, Dan. It wasn't ugly. It was beautiful. I remember that fight well when Asham KO'd Beagle. It was a clean KO right to the jaw, and it was about as clean of a punch as you could land in a hockey fight. I mean, hockey fights are tough because you're on skates. There's not many that actually cleanly land. And that was one that did. I remember that well when it happened, and watching that replay for days afterwards. That was one of the nicest KOs we've seen in a long time when it happened in the NHL. But yeah, then Beagle doesn't fight for a decade after that, but he has no problem going after a star player. It's like, that's just not smart. Oh, that was beautiful, Ryan. That was beautiful. I mean, complete throwback. You very rarely are there hip checks in the NHL anymore. I think the speed of the game has kind of made it so that hip checks are really hard, because if you miss, like, you're done. Like, if you miss, guys are so fast now, like, you're out of the play. There's no coming back from that. So you don't even see hip checks really even attempted all that much anymore. But Gudis went straight back to like 1975 with that one. Yes, Scott, Flyers Rangers is an NHL Network game tonight. Yes, it is. And tomorrow I was supposed to be doing Toronto and Tampa Bay, but that is also an NHL Network game, so I'm doing Boston and Columbus instead. Oh, damn, Austin, that's tough. Oh, really? Aaron Asham's a cousin of yours? That's awesome. That is awesome. I mean, Ace, what's going on? Welcome in. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Bruin, I mean, on one hand, Keith Yandel's lucky he's even still in the league because he's absolutely awful now. Like, he doesn't really belong on NHL ice at this point. He's putrid defensively. But at the same time, like, it's a dick move by the Flyers. Like, it's not like it's a meaningful game. Like, if Yandel was on a team that was, like, in a playoff race or, like, fighting for positioning where the games really mattered and they had 6 better defensemen, then yeah, you scratch him. But for the Flyers, the rest of this season means absolutely nothing for Philadelphia. So, like, that team is so far out of playoff contention that it's not even, it's not even remote. Like, there's no point in doing it. It's just it's a needless move by the Flyers. But very much a dick move. But at the same time, Yandel's lucky he's even still on an NHL roster. And honestly, I feel like this might be his last year, because he is really tough to watch on the ice at this point. Really, really bad. Yeah, I agree with it. I agree with you on that, Scott. Big time. Like, I pay for ESPN Plus. Obviously, like, at my house, we've got regular cable, so I can watch, I can watch regular ESPN. I can watch TNT on cable. But, like, then they also want me to buy NHL Network to be able to get NHL Network games. Like, I wish they just pick one thing. That's what you need. And you can watch every game with that one thing. That, in my opinion, that would be a lot better. But I don't know. There's a lot of there's a lot of things on the business side of television contracts and stuff like that make it pretty complicated. But from a consumer standpoint, it would be a lot better if it was just one thing that you could watch everything. Sasha, what is going on? Welcome in. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. We are getting ready for puck drop now. John Gibson in net for Anaheim. And down at the other end, we've got Mike Smith in goal tonight for the Edmonton Oilers. So we are getting ready to go here. What's going on, Red Rubber? Welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. Really, really appreciate it. It's awesome to have you in the chat. We are getting ready to drop the puck. This is going to be a fun one. Boston Bruins, Nathan. Yeah, I mean, they're definitely, there's going to be a bit of a rebuild, Dan, but I think Jeff Gorton is already off to a pretty good start with the Habs, and I think 3 years from now, they're going to be a very different looking team. As we are underway here, Anaheim dumps it into the offensive zone, trying to build off their win over the Coyotes in their last game. It was Anaheim's first win in about 3 weeks, so probably felt pretty good for them to get back into the win column. Edmonton, they're on a 3-game winning streak right now and have won 7 out of their last 10 games, playing good hockey, trying to catch LA for that second spot in the Pacific. We'll see how they can do here on the road, as this one is cleared up and out there by the Ducks. Possession back to the Oilers' neutral zone, right back into the offensive end, stolen away. Here's Shattenkirk, back the other way for Anaheim now, into the offensive end. Spun down low. Played here, Derek Grant takes it. Trying to work this one out. Logan, what is going on? Nikhil, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. Moved over now. Played up there, past Aston Reese. Lundestrom tries to keep it in, but can't. And the Oilers clear that one all the way down. Back to get it now. 18:40 to go here in the first. Just getting going in this one. Scoreless start. Edmonton with the only shot on goal in this game so far. Ducks dump it into the attacking end. Sonny Milano will go on the forecheck. I will live stream a bunch of different teams in the playoffs, BC Transportation. It will be different, it'll be whatever series I'm most interested in, depending on what the schedule is. But there'll be streams throughout the playoffs every night, pretty much. As that one goes behind the net now, back out in front, taken out here. Good shot from Zegras, rebound chance again. Shot, Smith with a big save. Zegras can't bat it out of the air. Anaheim putting some good pressure on now. And that one's cleared out. Back here. Taken by Milano and dumped back in. No, the playoffs, or the Bruins are not even close to rebuilding. They're getting ready for the playoffs. They got 91 points this year. They're, like, not even close to a rebuild. Sports Geeks, what's going on? Welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. Really, really appreciate it. Taken down behind the net now. Chance in front. Good opportunity there, but it just sent wide. Back the other way now. Oilers with some speed. Can't get it into the zone. Back the other way. Here comes Sam Steele. He's pushed away by Darnell Nurse. Hard into the end boards he goes as Cody Ceci plays the puck in the corner. Working this one over now. Here's Evander Kane poked away from him by Drysdale. Anaheim with it behind their net now. Worked out, trying to get it out of their zone. Steele takes possession back. Ryan, what is going on? Welcome in. Great to have you here. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming by. And ESPN back to its usual garbage, cutting in and out of the game. I don't know what has been so bad with ESPN Plus recently, but it has been brutal here for the last couple of weeks. Still early in this one. Here's Edmonton into the offensive zone. Trying to get the first goal. Trying to play it up now to the blue line. Oilers come back the other way. Over the red line into the offensive end. Here's Hyman driving in, and Gibson's got to make a nice save there. As Hyman drove the net, Gibson squeezed the pads, and we'll get a whistle with 15:37 to go here in period number 1. Scoreless start so far between the Oilers and the Ducks. And both of these teams looking for a win here tonight. That was a good opportunity for Edmonton to get a lead, but Gibson makes a save. No, I do not think... I don't think the Red Wings are going to be a playoff team next year because I don't think anybody that's ahead of them is going to be dropping off enough for them to make the playoffs next year. I still think it's probably 2 to 3 more years for the Red Wings to be at that level. They need to fix their goaltending big time. Right now, the Red Wings do not have the goaltending to make the playoffs. It's Vancouver's running out of time, Micah. They're running out of time. Long shot in there, deflected in front, and the Oilers score! First goal of the game, a deflection in front, and Edmonton goes up 1-0 just under 5 minutes into this one. And let's see, Tyson Barrie took the shot. Not sure if it hit a teammate in front or how this got through. Let's get a better look at it here. Barrie just takes a nice wrister, and that might actually not have hit anything. That might be Tyson Barrie's goal. I think it was just a big screen, and Gibson couldn't see it. 1-0 Oilers. Jem, what is going on? Welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it. 1-0 Edmonton here with an early goal from Tyson Barrie. Screen in front, shot from the blue line. Gibson never saw it, and it ends up in the back of the net. And Anaheim finds themselves down here early. Long shot there from Henrique is blocked away by Smith. Ducks trying to answer here with a shift in the offensive zone. The Oilers are not a team that you want to go down by more than 1 goal against. Once they get up by a couple, I feel like that would be a rough spot to be in for the Ducks. So this next few shifts here for Anaheim are going to be important. I mean, actually play to their potential, Dan. The Jets have a roster capable of making the playoffs. They just haven't played well. I mean, if they actually played to their potential, they would be a playoff team. They've had a very poor year this year. Totally going to depend on the matchup, BC Transportation. I mean, playoffs-wise, it's totally how you match up with the team that you play. And that's going to determine a lot of the winners. Back the other way now. Oilers clear that one down. And that's moved to the corner here. Ducks trying to come back the other way. Jets are probably not going to make the playoffs this year. Yeah, I remember it well, BC. I remember it well. Back out of the zone there. That one's cleared. 13.5 to go here in the first. Played back the other way. Anaheim in front of their bench. And we're going to get a whistle here. And it looks like it popped up into the bench. So we are going to get a stoppage with 13:29 to go. 13:29 to go here in the first period. Edmonton up 1-0 on the goal from Tyson Barrie. Good shot with a screen in front. And that is the only scoring of the game so far as the Oilers have the lead. Appreciate everybody being here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget, it means a lot if you can hit the thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't yet. I cover the entire NHL, so fans of all teams are welcome and wanted here. Just trying to build a hockey community where everybody can come together, have some fun, and enjoy hockey. Got my stream schedule coming up here. So you guys know what's coming up in the rest of this week. As we got some fun games coming up on the docket. I am still pretty pissed that NHL Network took the Tampa Bay-Toronto game tomorrow because I really wanted to watch that game and see how how those two paired against each other, considering there's a very good chance that could be a first-round playoff matchup. But it's on NHL Network, so there's no way to watch. I don't have any way to watch it, so we're doing Boston and Columbus tomorrow now. Minnesota-Nashville on Tuesday is going to be a very interesting game. Then Tampa Bay-Washington, doubleheader Wednesday, Tampa Bay-Washington, Vegas-Vancouver, and then Pittsburgh versus the New York Rangers on Thursday night. So some big games coming up this week. Nathan, what is going on? Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Really, really appreciate it. Great to have you in the chat. It's awesome to see you, my man. Jacob, what's going on? Rangers are already a lock to make the playoffs. They're guaranteed in. And it's looking like they're going to be playing the Pittsburgh Penguins in the first round. In all likelihood, that is going to be the first round matchup. 2-3 divisional battle in the Metro is going to be Pittsburgh versus New York in round 1. Back now, that one taken across. The only streams that I have scheduled are the ones that are there on the list. So, those are the games that I'm doing. After that, I don't know yet. I take the schedule week by week. I have no idea what nights I'm going to be available. I have no idea, what the most meaningful game is going to be. Totally depends. Hey, Savage, what's going on? Welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. Really, really appreciate it. John, what's going on? Welcome in. Thank you for watching. Eddie, great to see you in the chat. Thanks for coming by. Really, really appreciate it. Am I surprised? No, Ace. I am not surprised because it's the Florida Panthers. And Florida has an offense that is capable of doing that. So, obviously, anytime you come back from 4 goals down in the third period, it's a little bit, it's a big feat to pull off, but I wouldn't say I was utterly shocked because it's Florida. They have the offense that's certainly capable of doing that. Tommy, what's going on? Welcome in. Not Liam, what's going on? Welcome in. Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate it. Puck is taken behind the net now. Ducks almost turn it over. Now they do. Draisaitl keeps it in. Working around now. Shot in there. Gibson makes the save. We got to stop there. 12.5 to go in the first. The Ducks clear it out. Oilers going to regroup now in their own zone. It's Darnell Nurse for the pass up to Leon Draisaitl. Draisaitl cross ice through the neutral zone into the offensive end. Puljujarvi blasts a clapper on. That's blockered away by Gibson. Cam Fowler now behind the net for the Ducks will make the clear out pass. And they can't bring it into the offensive end, though. That's going to be offside, so they got to just curl back. Oilers get possession, and they'll move the puck. Brett Kulak with it now. He sends it over side to side. Jets are probably not making the playoffs, Micah. Those are definitely, the top 2 seeds going into the playoffs, Savage. It's just they got to win the first 2 rounds. Obviously, Colorado's had a lot of problems with the second round. They're going to have to exercise those demons this year if they want to make it to the conference finals. Calgary, I think it's going to, depend on matchups and who they play in those first couple rounds. It's going to be interesting to see how the Flames do come playoff time, but we're certainly capable of seeing a Calgary-Colorado Western Conference final. It's certainly a possibility. Ernesto, what's going on? 66, welcome in. Thank you guys so much for being here. Long shot, glove down by Gibson. And now we get some pushing and shoving in front of the net. And John Gibson gets into it. Trying to get at Evander Kane. I don't know if Evander Kane took an extra swat at him or something, but Josh Mahura, Derek Grant, and John Gibson all going after Evander Kane here after the whistle. Micah, we have no idea yet. You have to wait till the end of the season to know that. Yeah, I mean, there's no easy series, Nathan. I mean, there's no easy series in round one. There's no easy series at all for anybody in the Eastern Conference this year. So I don't think it's really gonna, I don't think there's any team that I'm like, yes, I want to play them. Obviously the playoff history between the Bruins and the Leafs would certainly make that, I don't know, maybe the most exciting or entertaining matchup potentially is we're going to get some 4-on-4 here for Evander Kane and Josh Mahura going to the penalty box here. One guy from each team. We'll see. I don't know. Actually, they're saying something about maybe there being an extra penalty. I'm not sure. There's only one guy in the box for each team right now. We'll see if it stays that way. Minnesota's either going to play in all likelihood, either the Blues or the Predators, and probably the Blues. But we don't know for sure yet. We don't know any of the playoff series for sure yet. Nothing is locked in as far as series go. Yeah, the top 4 teams in the Pacific are the Flames. Oh, this is actually a power play, so there was an extra penalty to the Ducks here. This is actually a power play for the Oilers, and already down by 1, this is not what you want if you're the Anaheim Ducks, because the Oilers have one of the most potent power plays in the NHL, 26% on the man advantage, which is 4th in the league. So Edmonton's got a killer power play. Ducks already down by 1, cannot really afford to let them score here as Edmonton takes it right off the draw and immediately rips one home. It's Connor McDavid from the circle, gets it by Gibson. It's a power play goal, and just like that, it is 2-0 Oilers. And that makes it 2-0 here, Edmonton. And I'll tell you what, this could get ugly for Anaheim here. This could get ugly for Anaheim because the Oilers are just lighting it up right now. They're playing great hockey. They're scoring, and they're scoring goals in bunches. And I don't think the Ducks have the roster to keep up with the Oilers when they're scoring at this level. This could get ugly quickly. I know who's first in power play, 66. You say it every single stream. I'm pretty sure you bring it up. I think we all know who first is. Brought into the offensive zone here. Henrique falls down into the middle, trying to get that one through. Ducks trying to get it in front here. That one's cleared away. Cassian up the boards and out of the zone. Wild beating Washington 3-0 tonight. Wow. Washington, I guess, getting outmatched by Minnesota. Corey, what's going on? Welcome in. Trevor, what's going on? Welcome in. Thank you guys so much for being here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for watching. Cleared through the middle. That one goes off the glass. Moved into the middle here. Into the offensive zone. Here's Kyler Yamamoto. Pass in front. That one doesn't connect with anybody. Draisaitl plays it. Up the wall. It's stolen by Dominic Simone. Here comes Anaheim now, trying to bring it into the offensive end. And now they're going to peel off for a change, so they get nothing out of it. Kulak quickly clears. Oilers come back the other way. It's a problem with spending so much time in your own zone. Like, by the time you actually get it out and have a chance to get the puck up ice, you got to change and you can't control into the offensive end. It's like, what the hell? I mean, you're never going to get any offensive pressure if you have to change lines every time you get the puck out of your own zone. And Anaheim dumps it into their own bench there. We're going to get a whistle. Another commercial break coming up. Oilers up by 2 early. 9:07 to go in the first. They've already struck on the power play. And they have taken complete control of this game. Outshooting the Ducks so far 11-3. And this is not the start that Anaheim was hoping for, I can tell you that. Oilers have come out and completely taking control of this game in the first half of the first period. We'll see if Anaheim has any sort of pushback or if this is going to be a long night. We'll find out. I say there is 0 chance of the Islanders making the playoffs. The East is set. There's no way somebody's making up a double-digit point deficit with like 12 games left in the year. It's just not going to happen. It would literally take like Washington losing like the entire rest of their season. It's not going to happen. Even if Washington, I mean, what's Washington at now points-wise? 84? Like, if Washington gets like 4 more wins, I think they're in the playoffs. If Washington gets 4 more wins, they're in the playoffs. Islanders aren't getting to 94 points. They're not even not. I don't think the Islanders aren't getting to 90 points. No way. They're only at 73. No way they get 17 more points this season. I don't see it happening. I think the East has been set for over a month now as far as who's in, and I don't see that ever changing at this point. New York making up an 11-point deficit with like 12 games left in the season, or they might have a little bit more because they've always kind of tailed behind as far as games played. But I mean that would take the Islanders, who have 14 games left. That would take the Islanders winning like 10 out of 14 games. I don't see it happening. Also, I think their schedule is going to get tougher. Hey, what's going on, Roblox Gaming? Welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. Really, really appreciate it. Awesome to see you in the chat. Chase, what's going on? Welcome. Thanks for coming by. This one gets worked down low. 10-4 is not happening. The Islanders are not that good of a team this year. That's not happening. $8:41 to go here. First period action. Yeah, also, like 3 weeks ago, Washington had a stretch where like they were struggling a little bit, and everyone was like, oh, Columbus is going to catch. This might have been like a month ago now, because Columbus was still in it at this point. But there were a bunch of people in the chat being like, oh, Columbus is going to catch Washington. Washington's done. Then Washington won like 4 straight and like made it like a 15-point difference between them and Columbus. It was like, yeah, Washington's really done. Like, the Capitals are not just going to tank the rest of their season. I can guarantee you that. Even if the Capitals go 500 the rest of the way, they're in the playoffs. So, I mean, the Eastern Conference is set. The playoff teams in the East have been set for literally like a month now, and they're still set. Shot in there. Nice save with some traffic in front by Mike Smith. He hasn't had to do a whole lot early in this game, but he's made the 5 saves that he's needed to. And on that one, he had Sonny Milano right on the doorstep, but was able to make the save. Earlier in the sequence, Trevor Zegras got a good chance, but couldn't tuck it under the bar as the Oilers goaltender made a nice shoulder save. So Smith here, sharp when he needs to be early in this one. And we just ticked under 8 minutes to go in the first. Darnell Nurse off glass there, but can't get it out. Shattenkirk plays it deep. Ducks will go back in on the forecheck. Smith rounds it up the wall, but can't get it out. Here's a chance for Comtois. Throws that one in front from behind the goal line, and that's covered up by Smith, and he makes a save there. 7:45 here to go in the first. We'll get a whistle. Another offensive zone faceoff here for the Ducks. They really need a goal here before the end of this period just to try and give themselves some life and get back into this game. So far, Edmonton leading 2-0 on the scoreboard and 11-6 in the shots on goal. Moved out now over the red line, dumped into the offensive end. Played down low. Played around here. Up the wall it goes. And that one not able to get it cycled out. And good forechecking pressure here from Edmonton. Fogle trying to get it down in the corner. It's moved through now. Derek Ryan out high. Shot from the point. Bouchard with a blast. And a nice save there by John Gibson. Keeping this a 2-goal game with 7:10 to go in the first. We get a whistle there. And another offensive zone faceoff coming up for the Oilers as they get it back into the offensive end and get another quality chance. They are looking good here in period number 1 of this game. Because they're both unrestricted free agent, or were unrestricted free agents at the end of the year, 66, and Anaheim realized that they weren't a playoff team, so they sold at the deadline like they should. They got good returns for both of them, too. They got good returns for both of them. It was a smart move by the Ducks to unload those guys because they weren't re-signing them in the offseason, so you might as well trade them and get something for them. They happen to get very solid returns. Mahura trying to work it up now, down in the corner, moved up the wall, and Derek Grant clears that one out. Here's brought up now into the offensive end. Aston Reese can't maintain possession, but Andre Schuster keeps it in. And that one's finally cleared now on the second opportunity by the Oilers. Cam Fowler plays it back now to Lundestrom. Brendan, what is going on? Welcome in. 6:35 to go here in the first. Move through the neutral zone, over the red line, back into the offensive zone. You can't show the game on YouTube. It will get taken down and your channel will get terminated by YouTube because it's a copyright violation. Unrestricted free agent basically means that, when your contract's up, you are free to sign with any team that you want. You are completely unrestricted. You get contract offers from anyone around the league and can sign whatever contract you feel like. RFA means that you're a restricted free agent. So that means that your contract is up, but the team that owns your rights that you have been playing for, they still control you. They still control your rights. And beyond that, it can get complicated. You can either sign a long-term contract with them or they can submit a qualifying offer, which again, this starts to get really complicated when you get into qualifying offers and offer sheets, which is how another team can come in and basically offer draft pick compensation to your current team to take you. That's what happened with Kotkaniemi. That's what happened with well, not exactly because they didn't do the whole draft pick thing because Montreal chose not to match the offer on Kotkaniemi. But basically what happened is that so there's draft picks involved. There's contracts. Another team can offer a contract. And then the team that currently has your rights can either match it. the team can either match it, or they can just choose to let him go, like what they did with the Hurricanes and the Canadiens with Kotkaniemi. Basically, the Hurricanes came in there, made an offer sheet for him at $6 million per year, which is way too much more than what the Canadiens wanted to spend on him. So the Canadiens decided that they did not want to match that offer, and Kotkaniemi goes to the Hurricanes. Restricted free agency can get really, really complicated when you start getting into the qualifying offers, you start getting into draft pick compensation, and all of that kind of stuff. You also have offer sheets and all of that, but unrestricted free agent is really simple. Player can sign with any team, any contract, whatever he wants to do. Yeah, well, they're not in the playoffs. I mean, you can make any excuse you want for the Islanders not being in the playoffs. The fact of the matter is they're not a playoff team. It's pretty simple. They're not a playoff team in the Eastern Conference this year. It's been a lousy year for the Islanders. The Islanders have been one of the biggest disappointments in the league this season. I mean, back-to-back conference finals and then you miss the playoffs the next year. That's not good. That's like the Canadiens going to the finals last season and then bang, being last in the league this year. That's a huge drop-off, and that's massively disappointing. Islanders have been massively disappointing this season. Winnipeg Jets have been massively disappointing this season. The reasoning why it happened doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is you either make the playoffs or you don't, and the Islanders didn't make the playoffs this year. So it's not good. Slick Nick, what's going on? Welcome in. Joseph and Tyler, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. Cake is in here. What's going on? Welcome. Chris, welcome in. Thank you for being here. Good to have you guys in the chat. Final commercial break now. First period action. Edmonton, they're just controlling this one, man. Oilers have been looking The Oilers have been looking like a different team. They're playing good here. They're playing really well here recently. Coaching change absolutely saved Edmonton's season. They would never have done this with Dave Tippett. Jay Woodcroft coming in, that change has really reignited the Oilers and I think saved their season this year. Shant, what's going on? Welcome in. Clem, welcome in. Lacey, welcome in. Thank you for being here. Grego, welcome. Good to see you in the chat. Offensive zone face-off. One back now by Anaheim. Long shot there. Blocked wide. Down in the corner. Trying to work it around. This one gets taken out by Fogle. Clears the zone. Back the other way. Oilers dump it in. Go after it. Mahura behind the net. Played down there. Hit in the corner was Derek Ryan by Max Comtois. Back the other way now into the offensive zone. Here comes Ryan McLeod. He's been a revelation for the Oilers here the last month or so. He just keeps on getting better and better as this season goes along. Cassian with a shot just sent wide. Back to the point. Played over now. Gets it down to Brett Kulak. Down to the corner behind the net. Trying to make a play out in front. Ducks keeping everything to the perimeter for now. Tyson Barrie with it out high. He's the first goal scorer for the Oilers. Top of the circle now. Shot! And they score! It's Ryan Nugent-Hopkins off the bench with 4:02 to go. Edmonton makes it 3-0. And they are lighting up the Anaheim Ducks here in period number 1. Outshooting them 14-8 and outscoring them 3-0. The shooting gallery continues. And the Oilers continue to pile it on here in the first. Edmonton looking for their 4th straight win. And they're 7-2-1 in their last 10 going into this game. And they are playing great hockey at the right time. And if it wasn't for the Kings continuing to find ways to win, Oilers would be in second place by now. But the problem is that every time the Oilers win, the Kings have been winning as well. The Kings won Thursday against the Flames, and then Saturday against the Jets. So the Oilers are trying to catch them, but they're just matching wins back and forth here. Donnell, welcome in. Thank you for being here. Pro Hockey, welcome in. Thank you for being here. Really, really appreciate it. Well, Oilers goaltending hasn't been a problem for them over the last couple of weeks. They are absolutely on a tear right now. They are on a tear right now. Moved it up now into the offensive end. Even when they give up 5 goals, they score 6. Like the game against St. Louis the other night. That was a game that the Oilers, I mean, really could have easily lost. But, I mean, every time the Blues scored, the Oilers were able to just match it and end up winning that one 6-5. Ronald, what's going on? Welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it. And we're going to get a penalty now. Just going to go against Edmonton here. Not a huge fan, Donnell. Not a huge fan. The blue side was okay. It wasn't horrible. I don't like the yellow, the black and yellow or black and gold side. That's just not Leafs. Like, those aren't Leafs colors. I find it weird that they would wear those. Elias, what's going on? Welcome in. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Yeah, good. I mean, great season, Sasha. This is a penalty against Darnell Nurse here. So Anaheim's going to get their first power play chance of the game. Oilers had a power play earlier. They scored on it. So we'll see if Anaheim can match. They really could use a goal before this intermission just to try and get themselves going. Here's Zegras taking it off the draw, setting up in the attacking zone. Cross-ice pass deflected away. That comes out to the neutral zone. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't a huge fan of those jerseys. I like the Leafs. You know, I like their regular jerseys actually quite a bit. They're pretty simple, but you know, they're very old school. They're very original 6, and I think, you know, their particular shade of blue that they wear I like a lot. I mean, a lot is going to depend, Phantom, on who their first round matchup is, but overall, no. I certainly won't be predicting them to, that's for sure. I certainly won't be predicting them to, but I'm sick of picking the Leafs in the playoffs, considering that I've done it the last 2 years and they've lost in the first round both times. I'm sick of picking the Leafs to win in the playoffs. I'm done with it. I literally picked them to go to the Final Four last year. I had them in the Final Four last season in my predictions, and there they were out. There they were out in round 1. So I am done with them. I like the Lightning Stadium Series jerseys. I like the Lightning's jerseys. Nashville's I didn't like at first, but I actually started to. Once I saw them on the ice, they grew on me a little bit, but I still like the Lightning ones better. Trying to take it back now. Another offensive zone here. 42 seconds left on this power play for the Ducks. Kept in by Drysdale there, rimming it around. Moved across here. Zegras with it. Down to the bottom of the circle, back out to the top. Other side, that one ripped wide. Smith didn't even have to get a piece of that. I'm telling you, Minnesota is going to be a dangerous team in the playoffs, Phantom. Do not sleep on the Minnesota Wild in the playoffs, especially now that they're getting good goaltending. They're going to be scary in the postseason. They play playoff-style hockey already, and we haven't even gotten to the playoffs yet. I would not want to have to play Minnesota. That's not going to be a fun series. Win or lose, it's going to be a beat and bang, grinded out series. Even if you are able to beat them, it's going to be tough. I don't have one. There's literally like 6 to 8 teams that could legitimately win the cup this year. I mean, it's way, I mean, trying to pick a Stanley Cup winner right now, you might as well just throw all the teams in a hat and just pull one out, and whichever one you pull, you go with, because there's literally no way to know. You're just guessing. As we get a shorthanded, or just out of the penalty box here, chance for the Oilers, not able to finish it off, though, with a pass across. Edmonton kills it off. It's still 3-0, and puck gets played with a high stick. We get a whistle with 12 seconds to go. Anaheim still not able to get anything in the net here, down by 3. Vancouver went on quite the run in 2020. They went on quite the run. Yeah, I think there's a lot of dark horses this year too, where like if they get hot at the right time, you could see a deep run from a team that's not really expected from. No, Minnesota's been in the playoffs a lot of times, Ikeka. They were in the playoffs last year. They lost to Vegas in 7 games in the first round. That was a good series, though. That was a really good series. I don't know. I've been saying Carolina against Colorado in the finals, but I'm just guessing. Like, I have no confidence in that actually happening. I mean, I could see Carolina also losing to Florida. I could see Carolina losing to Tampa. I could see Carolina losing to Pittsburgh potentially if Pittsburgh gets goaltending in the postseason. I could see Colorado maybe losing to Minnesota or Calgary potentially, and that would shake things up. I mean, there's so many contenders this year that you might as well just put teams in a hat and pull names. Florida is one of the toughest teams in the Eastern Conference. Florida's one of the most physical and toughest teams in the Eastern Conference. That team is loaded with skill and also has plenty of guys that can drop the gloves. Plenty of guys that can beat and bang with you. I mean, we saw that in their first round series last year against Tampa Bay. That was a brawl-it-out series in round 1. And, I mean, Florida's extremely tough. I mean, they've got Ryan Lomberg, Radko Gudas, Mason Marchment's big and physical. Sam Bennett's big and physical. Ben Sherratt on the back end is big and physical. Even Mackenzie Weegar, he's a physical player. He's like their number 1 defenseman now with Ekblad out, but he's still a physical, tough player. Florida's loaded with toughness. They're going to be a tough team to play if they get goaltending. The problem, the one thing that I could see really derail the Florida Panthers is if Bobrovsky sucks again. If Bobrovsky sucks again in the playoffs like he did last year, then Florida could be in some trouble. But if they can get goaltending, that's a team that can play any style of hockey that you want. Like, if you want to brawl it out like they did with the Lightning last year, they can do that. If you want to play a run-and-gun offensive game, they can score 5 or 6 goals in a game easily. There's that's a team that can play whichever way that you want to play, and is good enough to put up a lot of goals playing either way, whether it's nasty and physical or whether it's just run and gun finesse speed hockey. They got the guys that can do that. Obviously, their top six is loaded with offensive talent. They're going to be a tough team, but if they get the goaltending, that's the one thing with them where if they're giving up 4 goals a game in the playoffs, you know, as some of the Florida fans in the chat like to say, if Forgolski shows up in goal instead of Bobrovsky, then they could be in some trouble. Vancouver gets on the board. Florida is significantly better at home, Ace, than on the road. Not even that they're bad on the road, but their home record is absurd. Like Florida's home record is obnoxious. It's very similar to Colorado, who's also borderline unbeatable at home. Yeah, Florida is 28-6 at home this year. 28-6. Like literally 6 losses on home ice this year all season long. It's an obnoxiously good home record. Hockey fan, what's going on? Welcome in. Florida's D's not bad. I mean, they're top half of the league in overall goals against this year. Florida gives up, I think it was like 2.8 something goals against per game, which is not that bad. Their goals against is fine this year. Also, if Ekblad's healthy, Weegar and Ekblad is one of the best D pairs in the NHL. Weegar and Ekblad is one of the best D pairs in the NHL when they're both healthy. Now, Ekblad obviously is out right now with an injury, but if he's back for the playoffs, that's an elite top pairing. Yeah, all right, Florida's giving up 2.9 goals against per game, which is tied for 12th in the league with the Nashville Predators. So, they're still top half in the league total defense-wise as far as how many goals they give up. And they're easily the highest scoring team in the league. 4.12 goals for per game for Florida. They are far and away the highest scoring team in the NHL. Next closest team is Toronto at 3.76. So they've got a big lead as far as goals for go. Yeah, Ace, kind of. Yeah, they're pretty similar in a lot of ways to Colorado. The only thing is that they have competition in the East that is pretty much at the same level as them. Like that's the thing, is that Florida's at 102 points right now. Carolina's at 98, only 4 points back. So like where Colorado is like double-digit points ahead of everybody else in the West, Florida has some competition in the East because Carolina is at 98 points. So, but Florida and Colorado, I guess there are a lot of parallels between them. I would not want to face Florida in the playoffs personally. Rick, what's going on? Greyhound, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. Really, really appreciate it. Panthers haven't won a playoff series since the year I was born. But this definitely could be the year that they change that. Florida is already right as of right now has their best season in franchise history, most wins in franchise history this year. So this is the best Florida Panthers team in their franchise's history. So this could be the year that the whole playoff thing changes for them potentially. Scott, what's going on? Welcome in. Thank you for being here. Yeah, they're an OHL team, Greyhound. Yes. Yeah, Xanified, welcome in. Thanks for being here. Yeah, Ekblad always gets hurt at the worst time. He got hurt at the end of last season, too, and missed the playoffs, and now he got hurt again towards the end of this season. Hopefully, though, it's sounding like Ekblad might be able to come back and play in round one, but, you know, obviously you have to wait and see how his recovery goes, but there's a chance he might actually get to come back this year, which, you know, last year it was just brutal that they lost him before the playoffs. But, no, I have never been there, Greyhound, no. Tiagra, what's going on? Welcome in. Thank you for being here. Yeah, Robin Leonard started tonight, Ikeka, for Vegas, so he is back for the Golden Knights. Vegas is another team that's playing well right now. They're starting to get it together. I think the desperation for Vegas really set in once they got knocked out of a playoff spot, and they are on a 4-game winning streak now since getting knocked back by Dallas, and them and Dallas have kind of been alternating in and out of that last wild card spot. And Vegas is also just 3 points behind the Oilers. The problem with Vegas trying to catch the Oilers is that Edmonton keeps winning too. So like every time Vegas wins, Edmonton wins too. So they're not able to make up any ground. Literally, the Kings are on a 2-game winning streak. The Oilers are on a 3-game winning streak. And the Golden Knights are on a 4-game winning streak. So all of these teams in the Pacific that are trying to like catch each other, are not really making up any ground because they're all winning at the same time, and the point spread just stays the same. Vernon, what is going on? Welcome in. Thank you for being here. Wild just dismantling the Capitals. So Washington hasn't played in like a week, if I'm not mistaken, because they had like they had this very random like week without a game. I wonder who Washington's next game is after this one. I'm going to look that up quick. Who does Washington play after this one? Let's take a look here. Where are the Caps on the schedule? They don't play tomorrow. They don't play Tuesday. They play Tampa on Wednesday. Wow, that's a tough game Wednesday for Washington. And then they play next Saturday against Pittsburgh. Wow, Washington has a tough stretch here. Let's see if it gets easy towards the end of the month. Because I have a feeling they're going to go through this really tough stretch now. And then they're going to have like 4 straight games against non-playoff teams or something like that. So, oh no. Actually, Washington's got a pretty tough schedule the rest of the way. They do have some gimme games though. Or what should be gimme games against the Flyers, the Canadiens, and the Coyotes. Those are really the only easy games, though, the rest of the way for Washington. And they may not even be gimme games. They got Pittsburgh. They've got Toronto one more time. They've got Toronto 2 more times. They've got the Islanders 2 more times. They've got the Rangers once. They've got Vegas once. Colorado. Boston one more time, which they have not fared well against the Bruins this year. Washington, for whatever reason, has... I don't know. Boston's had their number this season. Obviously, the Tampa game on Wednesday. Washington's got a pretty tough schedule. I do think they can go at least 500 through this stretch, though. But those games at the end of the year, the final week between the Islanders and the Capitals, it'll be interesting to see what happens here. I want to look at the Islanders' schedule rest of the way, too, for the Isles, because they're going to have an obnoxiously good record the rest of the way if they're going to try and catch up, which, again, I don't think is going to happen, but I probably shouldn't open... yes, all right, so I got the Islanders' schedule pulled up here. They've got Carolina 2 more times. They've got Pittsburgh 2 more times. They've got Florida, Toronto, Tampa Bay, St. Louis, Dallas. Those are all tough games. I mean, if the Islanders were to find a way to literally win like almost all of those games, that's a rough... The Islanders also have an equally tough schedule the rest of the way. The only real gimme game for the Islanders the entire rest of their season is Buffalo. They've got Buffalo on April 23rd. Oh, and Montreal. They've got Montreal on the 15th and Buffalo on the 23rd. Those are really the only gimme games for the Islanders. Every other game the rest of the way is a tough one. So, again, I don't see it happening. Look, especially now looking at the remaining schedules for both teams, they have equally hard schedules the rest of the way. Like, Washington only has 3 quote-unquote easy games, and there's no real easy game in the NHL. And the Islanders really only have 2 easy games the rest of the way. And, like, they've got Pittsburgh twice, they've got Carolina twice, they've got Florida, they've got Toronto, they've got Washington twice, they got Tampa Bay. That's a tough schedule the rest of the way. The Islanders are not running the... I mean, that's just, like... that's as homer as you could possibly get, saying that the Islanders are going to run the table against literally some of the best teams in the NHL. Like, that is just biased. That's straight up biased. It's not even remotely accurate. There is a 0% chance that the Islanders run the table. 0. Nobody runs a table in the NHL with 15 games to go. Both teams have 14 games left. Both teams have very few easy games left. I think so, Ronald, too. I think so, too. Well, yeah, Caps have 13 after tonight, I think. Yeah, because Caps are playing Minnesota right now. So far, so that won't have updated yet. So they have... Yeah, Caps have 13 as soon as this loss against Minnesota gets counted. Also, I don't know... I mean, I don't know if you guys in the chat that are saying that Washington is playing badly, like, just mean tonight. I mean, if you mean just tonight, then yes, they're playing badly. But Washington is 6-3-1 in their last 10 games. So I hope you don't mean, like, overall over the last few weeks, because they're not. Washington is 6-3-1 in their last 10 games. I mean, obviously, they're going to lose tonight to Minnesota. They're getting rocked by the Wild right now, 4-0 in the third. So they're getting rocked by Minnesota. You can chalk that one up as a loss. But heading into tonight, they were 6-3-1 in their last 10. Also, really, really weird thing looking at the Capitals here on the standings page. The Capitals are not good at home this season, but they're very good on the road. Washington is 21-7-5 on the road, and they're only 16-14-5 at home. I don't... That's a head scratcher right there. That's a head scratcher. They're literally barely above 500 on home ice, and they're 21-7-5 on the road this year. That's very interesting. You don't see that very often. A team that's that much better on the road than at home. Usually it's the other way around. It's going to be, I mean, there's still some interesting races and there's still some interesting games the rest of the way. But anyway, guys, we're chatting it up here at the intermission. It's first intermission. Oilers just hammering Anaheim here. So 3-0 after 1. And the Oilers, it felt like a 3-0 game in every way as well. So it's not like this was one of those, bad luck games where the Oilers got 3 and Anaheim should have 2 or something like that. No, it feels like a 3-0 game. But we're chatting here at the intermission, just talking about the playoff races, talking about, everything going on around the league while we wait for the second to start. Appreciate you guys all watching. It's awesome to have you here. It's awesome to talk hockey. It's always fun to chat it up with everybody. And we're getting ready here, I believe, for the start of period number 2. So don't forget, it does mean a lot if you guys can hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. I cover the entire NHL, so fans of all teams are welcome and wanted here. Trying to build a hockey community where we can come together, have some fun, enjoy the game, and talk some hockey. And just get a chance to hang out and talk and enjoy some games going on. Got a big schedule coming up that I just dropped in the chat here. The upcoming stream schedule for this week. We got games Monday, Tuesday, doubleheader on Wednesday, and a game on Thursday as well. So 4 days this week of games. And doubleheader Wednesday night we're talking a lot about the Capitals here. Tampa Bay versus Washington is going to be a fun one Wednesday night. Then we're also doing Vancouver versus Vegas on Wednesday night, which is going to be a huge game. If Vegas wins tonight, and then Vegas wins again on Wednesday, I think that would pretty much end any hopes of Vancouver making the playoffs, in my opinion. Not mathematically, but I think realistically, if Vegas wins both of these games then against Vancouver, then that would pretty much end Vancouver's hopes of getting in. Chad, what's going on? Welcome in. Thank you for being here. JG Pageau is a very good player. I've always really liked JG Pageau. Jake Ottinger versus Chris Drieger, the goaltending battle between Dallas and Seattle. That's the last game of the night. That one's starting up right now. We are starting period number 2 as Anaheim dumps it in. Oilers trying to work it out of their zone now. They have doubled up the Ducks in shot, 16-8, and they lead 3-0 on the scoreboard. Eichel actually hasn't played all that bad, Xanafied. Like, he's put up some numbers. It just, I don't know, hasn't put huge... they're playing a lot better now, but Vegas went through that really bad stretch when he first came back where they lost a bunch of games in a row. I think it was like 5 or 6 in a row that they lost, and that kind of set him back. But he actually hasn't played that bad. Vancouver's tied it. Wow, that's a huge goal for the Canucks. Now, on the contrary, if the Canucks win and beat Vegas, especially if they win both games against Vegas, that very much keeps Vancouver's playoff hopes alive. I mean, they've got a real shot if they can beat Vegas twice. So this little set between Vegas and Vancouver is absolutely massive. Rick, I talked a lot. It's complicated. I talked a lot about that before the game started, or like right at the beginning of the stream. So I talked for like a good probably like 3 to 4 minutes on it. I'm not going to do that now with the game going on, but it's complicated. I think there's fault in a lot of... There's a lot of fault to go around, and there's a lot of things that should have been different, but if you want like a full explanation, back at the beginning of the stream I talked about it for a while, because it's a complicated situation, and I think Jay Beagle certainly deserves to... I wish that they played again this season, because Jay Beagle certainly deserves to have to answer for that. And I wish Anaheim still had Nick Delorier, because if Anaheim still had Delorier, he would certainly fill Jay Beagle in, that's for sure. But I'm also happy for Delorier that he gets to go to a playoff team now and play with Minnesota, and he's played really well since going to Minnesota. So I'm actually happy for him that he got to go to the Wild, but at the same time, I wish he was on the Ducks to handle Jay Beagle after something like that happened. Although Beagle got there, he wouldn't have been able to get to him anyway, because he wouldn't have been on the ice for that, and Beagle was gone from the game, obviously. And it sucks that they don't play again this season, because if they did, then Anaheim would be able to get back at Beagle for it this year. But there's always next year if Beagle's still in the league. But at the same time, like, Anaheim's got to protect their guy more than that. Like, You've got a 30-goal scorer out there getting involved in a scrum. You got to protect him more than that if you're Anaheim. Like you got to have other guys getting in there and making sure that Terry doesn't get, punching bagged like that, speed bagged the way that he did. Like, somebody else on the Ducks needs to jump in there and get in on that, especially in a 5-0 game. Who cares if you get tossed from the game when it's 5-0 with a few minutes left? Like, that's the time where you got to jump in and protect your teammate. So, again, it's complicated. There's a lot of things that probably should have gone down differently. And the Ducks should have... I wish the Ducks had... I wish the Ducks had another game against the Coyotes this year where they could get some retribution. But Anaheim should have protected their guy better than that. Like, he should have not been just left alone standing there eating punches. Like, somebody else should have jumped in there. No one cares if you get a third man in a 5-0 game. Like, the game's over. It doesn't matter about the penalties. And again, I wish the Ducks still had Nick Delorier, but at the same time, I'm happy for Delorier that he's on a playoff team now. 3 minutes into the second here, that one gets sent up, rimmed all the way around the glass. Anaheim tries to get something going in the offensive zone. Back the other way, the Oilers clear. Oilers, man, they're in complete control of this game. As that one pops out in front, goes up off glass, taken now. Moved across here. Bouchard keeps it in. Played to the middle. And that one's cleared out now. Dominic Simone gets knocked down by Ryan McLeod. Oilers get the puck back. 16.5 to go in the second period. Still doubled up Anaheim in shots. Now it's 18-9. Oilers, man, this has been a clinic from the Edmonton Oilers in just controlling a game. They're not really giving up any high-quality opportunities. They're possessing the puck for a majority of the time, keeping the offensive, chances for the Ducks out at the perimeter, like that long shot there. Smith easily blocks away. Oilers clear the zone. Puljujarvi dumps it in and sends the Ducks chasing again. This would be if you're a coach trying to show film to a team on about puck possession and just control of a game and control of everything that's happening on the ice, this would be a good one to show. Here's another chance. Puljujarvi scores. That one pops out in front. Jesse Puljujarvi puts it home. It's 4-0 Edmonton with 15:45 to go in the second, and we officially have a blowout on our hands. And this is getting very, very one-sided here. As the puck's all out, just sitting there in front of the crease. Nobody there except for Puljujarvi. Anaheim does not get back defensively. Comtois gets out muscled for the puck. Puljujarvi puts it home. And it is a 4-0 game here. Oilers completely dominating this one. And we are not even 5 minutes into the second period. No, Mander, this is in Anaheim. And it's been a brutal one for the Ducks so far on home ice. Aid, what's going on? Welcome in. Thank you for being here. Trent Frederick is the Bruins' toughest guy in the lineup, John. Freddie is their fighter. Dumped in now. That goes down behind the net. Ducks trying to get in on the forecheck here. Trying to get anything going in their favor. I feel like just a goal would just be at least some sort of just get something going in Anaheim's favor. Just a goal here would at least, get some sort of momentum in their favor, but man, they are struggling right now. Edmonton playing a great puck possession game. Oh, I'd be doing that every play, 66. Get ready for the playoffs. That's going to be happening almost every game, every period. Playoff hockey is nasty. There's going to be after the whistles. There's going to be slashes. There's going to be cross checks. There's going to be roughing. Like, playoff hockey is a whole different style of hockey than the regular season. And it's going to be an absolute war on the ice come playoff time. Too old, no, Mander. Too old. Zdeno Chara at this point. Zdeno Chara would not make the Bruins any better at this point. He's too slow. He's too slow, too old. Moved up and out now. That one's cleared. Down low here. Played to the corner. Up it goes over the red line. Dumped into the offensive end. Spun around the boards there. Anaheim able to clear that one out. There is not much that I do not care. There is not much more that I care less about than what the league's playoff logo looks like. I really could not care what their playoff logo is. I think the only thing that I care less about in hockey than that is goal horns and goal songs. Whatever teams use for those, I just don't care. That's how I feel about the league's playoff logo. Like, I really do not care what it looks like. I mean, it's so like unimportant to me. Like, I'm gonna watch the playoffs no matter what. Like, it doesn't matter what the playoff logo looks like to me. I don't care. Aiden, what's going on? Welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. Well, the Leafs' problem in the playoffs is that they've gotten pushed around physically, and until that changes, if they match up with a team like Tampa Bay is gonna try and absolutely abuse them physically. And I've been watching playoff hockey for 20 years now, and the Leafs aren't going to get help from the referees. They're going to have to stand up physically and play that style if they're going to win. Wayne Simmons becomes one of your most important players come playoff time. I can tell you that. Hey now, it's great to see you here. Really appreciate it. Yeah, Slick Nick, that's an interesting concept. It's almost like walk-up music in baseball, where like each player has their own walk-up song when they come to bat. That's an interesting concept that honestly I kind of like. It's cool. Oilers cycling it around here still in the offensive zone. Hyman going for a skate. Out high here. Speaking of Wayne Simmons, boy, did he do a number on Zach McEwen against Philadelphia yesterday. That was vintage Wayne Simmons. He absolutely ate McEwen's lunch. He took his lunch money and then ate his lunch in front of him in that game yesterday. Like, just pounded away on McEwen. And McEwen's not even that bad of a fighter. Simmons Simmons showed that he's still got it. And he's, Simmer's been one of my favorite players in the league his entire career. And that's a big reason why. Anybody that can, in his prime, score 25, 30 goals a year and then also pound you into the ice, those are my favorite players right there. What's going on, Terry? Welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. Really, really appreciate it. We get another offensive zone faceoff coming up now for Edmonton. They're up 4-0 here over the Ducks. This has been very one-sided so far, so we're kind of just talking more in the chat about everything. More so than doing, like, play-by-play. Played down low now behind the net. Fogle back after it. Ducks take it away, cleared up the boards, and they'll get it out as they pass it off the stick of Comtois, but he gets it out of the zone. Back the other way now over the red line. Oilers back in on the attack. Dumped in again. Yeah, definitely having a good reach helps a lot. Big time, John. Absolutely. I've always liked Wilson. I think he does stuff that's dumb as shit sometimes, but you need villains. You need villains, and you need guys to hate and root against as much as you need heroes to root for. It would get very boring if there was nobody out there stirring the pot. It would get boring very, very quickly. So I mean, anytime you stir the pot, it makes it more interesting and more fun to watch. And then I like when other teams go out there and make them and try and match them and try and make them answer for it, and then you get a fun game where you got lots of physicality going back and forth, which is how hockey is supposed to be. Kendra, what is going on? Welcome in. Thank you for being here. We've just ticked under 9 minutes to go in the second period. 4-0 lead for the Oilers. Andrew, welcome in. Thank you for being here. Really, really appreciate it. Moved out now over the red line. And that one's knocked down. Ducks trying to come back the other way. Can't get it through. Now on a second chance. Cam Fowler brings it into the offensive zone. Thrown in there. That one gets gloved down by Smith, and he's going to cover that one up. We're going to go to another commercial break with 8:35 to go here in period 2. Oilers in complete control of this one as we have a 4-0 lead here. And they are taking complete control here and just possession dominant in this game so far. But we're going to another commercial break. Thank you guys so much for watching. Really, really appreciate it. It's awesome to have everyone in the chat tonight. Please don't forget, it does mean a lot if you hit the thumbs up and subscribe. I cover the entire NHL, so fans of all teams are welcome and wanted here. Just trying to build this community where everyone can come together, have some fun, and enjoy some hockey. Got my upcoming stream schedule in the chat, so you guys want to know what games are coming the rest of this week. And we got a lot coming your way as we inch closer and closer to the playoffs here day by day. So, going to be a lot of fun games coming up, that's for sure. Especially some of the ones this week I'm really looking forward to. Again, guys, it's awesome to get a chance to talk some hockey and have fun with all of you here tonight. We've been kind of chatting it up more than actually doing play-by-play here because this game has been very one-sided so far. But we've gotten a chance to talk about a lot of things, which is awesome. And let's see... yeah, and I love how everyone loves to complain about dirty players, but honestly, just embrace hating them, because for the entire history of the NHL, there's been dirty players in the NHL. Like, as long as hockey has existed, there's been dirty players, and whether it's the 20s and 30s, whether it's the 60s and 70s, whether it's the 90s, or whether it's now, there's dirty players in the NHL. And you just have somebody that can handle it. Have somebody on the team that can take care of business and get some revenge when they need to. I mean, if you're playing against Tom Wilson and you're worried about what he's going to do, have somebody that can beat the shit out of Tom Wilson, and then at least you can get back at him for it. And that's the 100-year history of the NHL right there. Taken across now, block it away. Zegras knocks it down. Up and out there, cleared over the red line. Ducks come back the other way. Yo, Vernon with the 10. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. Let's get that dono hype in the chat for Vernon getting a 10 on the stream. Really, really appreciate it. Countdown, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. Wax Jade, welcome. Thank you for being here. Awesome to have you. Thanks for coming by. Yeah, Kenny Linsman had he was the original rat long before long before Brad Marchand was ever in the NHL. Kenny Linsman was the original rat for sure. Played here. Ducks again trying to get it out of their end. Good forechecking coming from the Oilers, but the Ducks get it to the middle now. And Carrick moves that one up. I find it very interesting that, the whole situation with Terry, getting speed bagged by Jay Beagle in their last game. The Ducks now have Sam Carrick on the same line as Trevor Zegras. So obviously giving Zegras some protection there with Carrick, who certainly is not afraid to drop the gloves and has done so multiple times this year. I think Carrick's up to like 6 or 7 fights this season. Now they've got him out there protecting Zegras. Offensive zone face-off here for the Oilers. 7:27 to go in the second period. Trying to work this one around now in the offensive zone. Played down in the corner. Can I do a Boston accent? Not a good one, Ace. No, I'm actually very bad with accents, to be honest with you. I cannot do accents well. And even I don't have like a Boston accent. I think I talk more like a Rhode Islander than actually someone from Massachusetts, I think, but or at least certainly not a Boston sounding accent. I think it's more of a Rhode Island accent, but I don't know. I can't really like determine what accent it is because I don't have that perspective of like it being from the outside. Like this is just, you know, what I've always sounded like and what most people around me have always sounded like. So it doesn't even seem like an accent to me because that's how everybody sounds. So I don't have that perspective as someone from the outside that could say like, you know, you sound different because like I don't know what I would sound like if I was from anywhere else. But I'm really bad at doing accents. Like I really can't do them. 3-3 Rangers coming back. Wow. Well, if that's not the epitome of the Philadelphia Flyers season this year, I don't know what is. They were in complete control of that game until the third period, and now the Rangers have stormed back. And in all honesty, the Rangers might be able to come back and win this game. And heck, if the Rangers even get a point out of the game, that's big for New York because, you know, that at least helps them in the standings stay above Pittsburgh. Knights and Canucks are still tied 2-2. We're at commercial break here. Second period action. I mean, Manson's a pretty physical player, John. He doesn't fight nearly as much as his dad did. And he's had some injury issues as his career's gone along, which has made him fight less and less. Like, Manson used to fight a lot more early in his career, but as he's had some injury troubles, he kind of picks his spots more with when he drops the gloves, which isn't that much right now, but he's still a pretty physical guy, but definitely not as much as his dad. His dad was a full-on, enforcer. Yeah, Ian LePerriere was awesome, Terry. Absolutely. I remember him well from when I was a kid. Let's see. Papa, what's going on? Welcome in. I do not speak French. No, only English for me. I don't know any other languages. Wow, Vegas and Vancouver going to overtime. That is going to be huge who gets the second point out of that one. There's a Google Calendar, Scott, linked in the description of every stream and video, where all you have to do is save the Google Calendar or save it to your Google Calendar. It's public for anyone to see. It's linked in the description. And I update that along with my stream schedule, and you can see this. You can just import it right into your calendar. Also, at the beginning of every week, like on today's community tab post, I posted the whole schedule for the week. So if you look at the community tab, I post every day that I'm streaming what the stream is that night. And then at the beginning of the week on Sundays, I guess end of the week, depending on how you view Sunday, doesn't matter. Usually on Sundays, I post the stream schedule for the entire week. Delorier just scored for the Wild. There we go. As I was talking about him during this stream, he scores for Minnesota. I love Nick Delorier. He's an old school fighter, not afraid to just get out there and chuck them. And he's also like a pretty good fourth liner too. He can kill penalties. He's physical. Obviously, can chip in a little bit offensively, as he's done with Minnesota. He's got a couple goals now, I think, with the Wild since the trade. I love Delorier. Brought up now, right back into the offensive end. Oilers out high here. Shot deflected. Pad save there by Gibson. And Anaheim will clear this one, but the Oilers take possession back. They'll regroup in their own zone. We've got 6:20 to go here in the second period. Oilers in complete control of this game, 4-0. Yikes, Nathan. Yikes. 5 goals on 19 shots. Who is it? Please, somebody, please tell me who's in net for Washington tonight. Because whoever's in net for Washington tonight should not be playing in the playoffs, that's for sure. Also, I think Washington's going to get destroyed in round 1. They're the only one that I really don't have any confidence in from the Eastern Conference of making a run. I don't think Washington has much of a shot. Vanacek has gotten lit up for 5 on 19 shots. Jesus. And I honestly think Vanacek's the better of the 2 goalies. I think Vanacek's better than Samsonov, and he's gotten lit up tonight. Oh, boy. Goaltending is a major issue for the Washington Capitals. I don't think they have a guy that can be a starting goalie in the playoffs. I really don't. I don't trust Samsonov or Vanacek to win in the playoffs. As that one's deflected up and out of play. We get another whistle here. 5:44 to go. Second period action. 5:44 to go. And score still 4-0 Oilers here. Holy cow. This has ended up being a pretty interesting night and day in the NHL. So while we're at commercial break here, I'm going to make a run through everything that happened game-wise in the NHL today. So earlier this afternoon, the Florida Panthers beat the Buffalo Sabres 5-3. I actually watched that game. Buffalo played pretty well, but Florida just had a little bit too much. Panthers get that win 5-3. And with that win, the Panthers became the first team to officially lock up a playoff spot. Obviously, we know who a lot of the playoff teams are going to be, but they become the first team to officially lock up a playoff spot this year. And they go to 102 points now on the season. The Ottawa Senators beat the Detroit Red Wings 5-2 in a game between 2 non-playoff teams that was overall pretty meaningless. The Islanders pulled out a 4-3 win over the New Jersey Devils. I watched most of that game as well. And the Islanders are playing very well recently. No doubt about that. All the credit there. They've been playing very well recently. Golden Knights and Canucks right now are in overtime, tied 2-2. That is a huge game there between those two teams. Whoever is able to get that second point, that is very, very important. They play again on Wednesday, and I'll be streaming that game here as part of a doubleheader Wednesday night. Coyotes and Blackhawks are tied up 2-2 in another meaningless game. Both teams not making the playoffs there. That's late in the third period. Flyers and Rangers are going to overtime. Rangers have come back from 3 goals down in that one and have tied it up at 3, and they're going to OT. Obviously, Oilers with the 4-0 lead here, dominating the Ducks. And the Seattle Kraken have a 1-0 lead over the Stars late in the first period of that game. So, 9 games in the NHL tonight, and some of them pretty important as far as the standings are concerned. We're back from commercial break now. It's an offensive zone faceoff for Edmonton here. And the Ducks win it back and are able to clear that one out of the zone. So we'll get ourselves a whistle. Or, excuse me, we'll get ourselves down to the other end of the ice. Now we will get a whistle and a tripping call coming against Zach Aston Reese. And this is going to put the Oilers power play on the ice again, which is not what you want to do if you're the Anaheim Ducks. Oilers have already 1 power play goal in this game. They've got a 26% power play on the season, which is 4th best in the NHL, and now they are going to get another crack to make this 5-0. Vegas wins it in overtime. That is a huge win for the Golden Knights, who now extend their winning streak to 5 straight for the Golden Knights. Holy cow. And Vanacek gave up 4 on 18. Okay, thank you, Nathan. The last goal was an empty netter. Just as bad for Vanacek there. I mean, that is a bad night in goal. Stu, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. Really, really appreciate it. Great to have you in the chat. Oilers setting up in the offensive zone now. Chance in front. Gibson makes a big save there. Ducks trying to clear it out. Not able to. Oilers get possession back. Here's McDavid. Shea Theodore with the game winner for Vegas. That is huge for them. The only issue for Vegas is that they're not going to gain on the Oilers tonight because it looks like the Oilers are also going to win. Here's McDavid with it now. 1:20 left on the power play. Just ticked under 5 minutes to go here in the second. Moved across top of the circle. Back to the blue line. Barry with a shot. Save there. Gibson with the save. And he'll cover that one up. Another ozone draw coming up. Yeah, Rangers and Flyers OT. Wow, Capitals outshot Minnesota 26-19 and still lost 5-1. Yeah, that is not a good night for the goaltending, that's for sure. Oh yeah, I remember Peter Worrell, Terry. Yeah, he played for Colorado. I also remember him playing with the Florida Panthers. He was a real tough guy. I mean, he was a full enforcer. He could fight with anybody there. He was a real tough guy back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Kid Kane, what's going on? Welcome in. Thank you for being here. I mean, I don't think Hyman's on the score. He's not on the score sheet, but he hasn't been bad. I mean, he's played decent. He just hasn't. Let's see if he has any assists. I know he hasn't scored, but let's see. No, he's not on the score sheet at all. So yeah, no points for Hyman, but he hasn't played bad tonight. Nobody on the Oilers have really played bad. They've completely controlled this game. Final 5 seconds now of the power play. Here's Bouchard with a shot. That's blocked up high. And Duncan Keith able to keep it in. Full strength now. Power play is over. We're back to 5-on-5. A kill there for the Ducks. Mercifully for them, keeping it at 4-0. Alex, what's going on? Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Really, really appreciate it. Awesome to have you on the chat. Talbot was in goal for Minnesota. I have him on one of my fantasy teams, so that's a nice win. As Gibson makes a save there with the shoulder and covers it up. 3:17 to go now here in the second period. So Hyman's got 2 shots and 1 block shot. Okay, yeah, not bad. Just no points, so it doesn't show up on the box score, the shots do, but not in the point section. Edmonton's still here, doubling up Anaheim as far as shots on goal. Individual player 66 or team-wise? I can check the team stats page here. Hold on, I got to... goals for by strength. I can break it down by that. Let's see. Regular short... 4 versus 5 regular shorthanded goals. The Toronto Maple Leafs with 11 lead in shorthanded goals this year. They've also scored 3 versus 4, which is interesting. So I guess that would make 12. And then they've also scored 5 versus 6 would mean empty net at the other end. So they've also scored 11 times. But I don't really count those as... those are different than a regular shorthanded goal. Like regular 4 versus... 4-on-5 shorthanded, 11. And then they have 1 3 versus 4, which must have happened in an overtime or something, I guess. But yeah, most shorthanded goals go to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Interestingly enough, a team in their division is second with 10. Second in the league is the Florida Panthers with 10. So, and as far as individual players, I'm not sure who has the most. I'm sorry to hear that, Xanafied. Sorry to hear that. Moved up now. Chip to the middle. Final 2:25 now of the second period. Oilers back into the offensive end at Zach Kassian. Played around there. That one knocked away. Nugent Hopkins in the corner. Gets it through now to Benson. I think, yeah. Oh, boy. Now I'm blanking on jersey numbers here. 16 on the Oilers. That's Tyler Benson, correct? Let me double check. No, it's Derek Brassard. That's Derek Brassard. I forgot Brassard got... I almost forgot Brassard got traded to the Oilers. I forgot that he got traded to the Oilers for a second there. That's a good veteran pickup for Edmonton to kind of help out their third line level area of their team. Taken now. .127 to go here in the second. Oh, there's 6 players right now tied for the first in the league in shorthanded goals. Well, I guess somebody's going to have to take over first place at some point. We need some more shorties. Oh, boy. Power play for the Flyers in overtime. That's going to be a big chance there for them. Hey, Marty McSorley played with Wayne Gretzky for a reason. I mean, Gretzky wanted McSorley for a reason. He was Gretzky's like personal bodyguard pretty much on the ice. That's what he was there for. And when Gretzky went to LA, he wanted McSorley with him for a reason. One of the most legendary enforcers of the game, and Gretzky's personal bodyguard. Back up the wall now. Final 45 seconds of the second period. Ducks chip it out. Back the other way now. Taken by Max Comtois. He passes into the middle. Here's a chance. Shot in there. Smith with a save. Rebound makes the save as well. And 31.7 seconds to go in the second period. Mike Smith with what's probably his best save of this game on that rebound. Gets it with the blocker and then covers it up, and we'll have an offensive zone faceoff coming up now here for the Ducks as they could not get it on the board. Great opportunity there, though, but it stays 4-0. Flyers Rangers going to a shootout. Wow. Steve Moore, Terry. That was Steve Moore. Because that was retaliation for a hit that Steve Moore made on Marcus Naslund. And yeah, that got really, really ugly. Ended up breaking his neck and ending his career. And, you know, he's paralyzed now. And that was ugly. And end of the second period. Period 2 comes to an end. And we're headed to intermission here. 2 periods down, 1 to go. Edmonton, 4-0 lead in complete control of this one. Anaheim, only 17 shots on goal. Haven't gotten on the board yet. Obviously, the Oilers scored 4 times here through 2 periods. They've got 30 shots on goal. And they are in complete control here heading into the final frame. But we're going to have some time to hang out and chill now at the intermission while we wait for period number 3 to begin. Thank you guys so much for watching. Great to have you all here. It's been fun getting a chance to talk with everybody in the chat. Please don't forget, it means a lot if you hit the thumbs up and subscribe. I cover the entire NHL, so fans of all teams, welcome and wanted here. Got a bunch of streams coming up this week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Doubleheader on Wednesday. Really, really excited for the hockey coming up this week. So appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys all being here. So Craig Smith was sick for one game, 66, and then he came back and he got hurt. And I think he might not be playing tomorrow night. It sounded today like there's a chance he doesn't play tomorrow night. So yeah, he was out with a non-COVID related illness for one game. That was the game against New Jersey that the Bruins just absolutely destroyed them. And then I didn't see the Columbus game Saturday night, but I heard that he got hurt again and now has a lower body injury. So I don't know. Should the Penguins trade Zucker? I mean, they certainly have enough wings to be fine without him, Ace. I mean, definitely, obviously, that'd be an off-season type move where, you shake things up a little in the off-season. I definitely a guy that could be on the trade block for sure. For sure. Isaiah, thanks for being here, man. Really appreciate it. Coyotes win. Gostisbehere picks up the win here for Arizona. They played Chicago, I believe. Yeah. So the Coyotes pick up another couple of points. Seems like all of these bottom teams don't want to keep losing. Like they keep winning games. They're getting a lot of wins here towards the end of the season and almost like climbing the standings at the wrong time, getting a worse draft pick. Flyers win in a shootout. Now Philly wants to win a game. That's not ideal for the Rangers losing in a shootout to a team like Philly. But, hey, these teams that are playing spoiler, a lot of them are doing a good job of it and playing really tough games, even against higher-level teams. And we're seeing that here, for sure. So congratulations to Philadelphia on the win. And the Rangers now will get 1 point out of the game, so they're back up now by 2 points over Pittsburgh for that second spot. But, obviously Pittsburgh is within striking distance here of taking the second seed in the Metro. Are the Yotes still looking for arena? The last thing I've heard on the Yotes arena is that they're gonna be playing at that really small college arena for a few years while they try and figure out what they're gonna do after that. I really don't know how that's all gonna end up working out. It is not a good situation, though. It is not a good situation. It seems like Arizona is far from a stable franchise right now. Yes, Dallas. This has been a completely dominating performance from the Oilers. They've been in complete control of the entire game. They got up early with a goal in the first 5 minutes and have never looked back. Oilers look great to continue their winning streak here tonight. Wow, Martin Jones stops 43 out of 46 and all three in the shootout to get the Flyers the win. Hey, maybe the Washington Capitals should have traded for Martin Jones at the deadline or something. Not that I view Jones as a starter at this point, but I don't know, I feel like he'd be better than what the Capitals have got going for him right now. At least he'd give him another veteran guy that they could turn to if they need it. It feels weird that Washington didn't do anything about goaltending at the deadline. Even if it wasn't even if they weren't able to get Fleury and weren't going to get a high-level guy, I feel like you still gotta, do something. And I think the fact that they didn't is probably going to end up hurting them in the postseason because I don't trust Vanacek or Samsonov to be the guy. Yeah, Shesterkin, I mean, he hasn't been bad, but, there was a stretch where he was bad. There was a stretch for, I think it was 5 or 6 games where he was really, really bad. Then he kind of got it back on track again, but now he's kind of playing average. Now he's kind of playing average. Yeah, I agree, 66, that I think the Hart conversation with him is probably over. I mean, depending on how the last, 3 weeks go or something, he could still win the Vezina because his numbers overall are still extremely good. But It's been weird because he was literally at such a ridiculous level for like the first 3/4 of the season, or at least 2/3 of the season. He was at such a ridiculous level, and it's just kind of faded over the last month. I mean, he had a stretch where he was bad. Like he was giving up 4 or 5 goals a game against, and it did not look like Igor Shesterkin in goal. And then he kind of bounced back from it a little bit, had a few good starts, but he's kind of averaged out a little bit here recently over the last month or so. I don't know. I mean, I still feel like he's a guy that can get hot in the playoffs. Like, you know, I wouldn't love that as trying to, you know, match up against him in the playoffs, because he's the kind of goalie that when he does get hot can get like 940 save percentage hot, and that gets really, really tough to beat. I mean, if you've got a goalie, you know, stopping 94, 95% of shots against, that gets really tough to beat. I just don't know if he's going to be at that level come playoff time, because he's kind of faded a little bit here. Well, yeah, that's been Jones' entire career, Nathan, is the inconsistency has been his problem. I mean, there were some years with the San Jose Sharks where Jones was a great starting goalie. He was a high-level starting goalie for San Jose. And then there were other years where he couldn't stop a beach ball. It was brutal to watch. So his inconsistency has kind of plagued him throughout a lot of his career. Yeah. That's kind of been Martin Jones' thing, unfortunately, is how inconsistent he's been. So, like, getting back to Igor Shesterkin here, kind of going, like, game by game, he still has a .934 save percentage total on the season, which is easily best in the league. His goals against is also just 2.13. So, like, his overall numbers for the year are still extremely, extremely good. But over the last, like, little while, he's had some really tough games. Like, you know, he had a game where he gave up 4 goals on 17 shots against St. Louis. He had a game where he had 4 goals against Dallas on March 12th. Actually, really, other than that, he hasn't been bad. He also, he had another game against New Jersey. He gave up 5 goals on 24 shots against. But then he bounced back and only gave up 1 against the Penguins the game after that. He beat Pittsburgh. Again on the 29th, only giving up 2 goals, and had a .917 save percentage in that game. And then April 1st, the last game against the Islanders, on Friday night, he gave up 3 goals on 18 shots, and that wasn't that good of a performance. And then, obviously, tonight, not that great. I don't know, it's weird. He either has, like, a really, really good performance, like only 1 or 2, maybe 2 goals against, or he gives up, like, 4 or 5. Like, he's kind of been all over the place. But mostly good, though. Actually, looking at his game logs, like, if you go to his NHL.com page and just look at the game logs, like, most of them are really good. And then he has these really bad games sprinkled in there where he gives up, like, 4 or 5. And you're like, that's not Igor Shesterkin. But he hasn't ever been, like, consistently bad, actually. His worst stretch was the back-to-back games in March 10th and 12th when he gave up 4 goals in both games. That was his worst stretch. But then he bounced back with a .929 save percentage the next game and a win. In a loss. They actually lost that game, but he stopped 26 out of 28 shots. And then he beat the Lightning with a .966 save percentage the game after that loss. So it's interesting. I still think he's probably going to win the Vezina. With a .934 save percentage on the year, I think he's probably going to win the Vezina. I think that is awesome, Ace. I think it's awesome. I saw it in the Discord. It's really, really cool. Also on Instagram as well. Game-worn stuff is always really, really cool. Just because, it's not like you just go to the store and buy, just mass-produced jersey. Like, game-worn jersey, there's not that many that were actually worn in games. Oh, those would have been huge additions, 66. Those would have been huge additions for Toronto. Especially, imagine if Toronto landed Cop. Like, that would have been a dynamic change there for the middle part of that, third line part of that Leafs lineup. Second, third line type guy like Cop. That would have been huge. Avi, what is going on, man? Welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. Really, really appreciate it. Awesome to see you in the chat, my man. We're here at the second intermission. Edmonton, complete control of this one. We kind of been chatting more than actually doing play-by-play in this one, just because it's been a pretty one-sided game. But we've had a great chance to talk about a lot of different things in the chat. Yeah, no, 100% 66, 100%. How is it 4-0 Edmonton? Because Edmonton is playing extremely well right now, and Anaheim is not very good. Anaheim only has like one win, I think, their last 12 games now, or one win in their last 13 now. It's been a brutal stretch for the Ducks. Hey, there you go, Scott. That's it. That sounds like a great night to me. That sounds like a great night to me. I am not pounding beers tonight, no, Scott. Oh, you were asking. I thought you were like just listening to the audio pounding beers. My bad. I misread that there at first. No, I am not. I actually start work tomorrow. I start my landscaping job at the baseball fields again tomorrow. So, as soon as this game's over, I'm going to bed, and I got to get up at like 7 in the morning, and I've got work tomorrow. So, I'm back with my regular job as well, too, now. So it's going to be pretty busy here for the rest of hockey season, while I also have my regular job as well. But still gonna be obviously pumping it out on the channel as well. Streams that's not going to affect streams at all, really. The only thing, there might be less like of the recorded videos because I won't have time during the day really to do stuff like that as much. Maybe 1 or 2 a week or something like that. But streams will still stay the same. Like, I'll be streaming just as much because obviously streams are at night except for weekends, but streams are at night for the most part, and I aren't doing landscaping when it's dark out at night. So it's gonna be good where like I can do all my regular work during the day, get all the landscaping stuff done during the day, come home, eat dinner, and then go into a stream at whatever time at night. So that will be a good time setup there. Just regular videos might be tougher for me to get done, like the stuff that comes out during the day, because I won't have that much time to record and edit now during days because I'll obviously be at work. I'll still definitely get some out, but probably not as many. Yeah, Victoria. So like there's a whole baseball and softball field complex in my town where like all the Little League and AAU play and stuff. And it's a big complex. There's 6 fields there. There's batting cages. It's a big place, and I do all the maintenance and landscaping work there. That's my regular job. So That goes from like April through like into October, and kind of depending on the year, depends on how far into October it goes, depending on the weather and how good the weather is into the fall. But that's my like half a year job. Lil Beastie, what's going on? Welcome. Lil Beastie, the Avalanche are 8-1-1 in their last 10 games and on a 3-game winning streak. So the Avalanche are not struggling. They're literally on a winning streak and 8-1-1 in their last 10. That is definitely not the definition of struggling that I'm aware of. I think most teams in the league would be praying to be 8-1-1 in their last 10. All right, sounds good, Victoria. Thanks for coming in. Really, really appreciate it. Awesome to have you in the chat, as always. Thanks so much for coming by. We're getting ready for third period action here. Edmonton obviously in control of this one. 4-0, just going to close it out in the final 20 minutes. And the Oilers will be within 1 point of the LA Kings, who do not play tonight. So they cannot, LA can't do anything about, Edmonton getting closer to them. They will cut that lead for second place in the Pacific down to 1 point, assuming the Oilers hold on to this win. Vegas is also now at 82 points, which is one back of the Oilers right now. But as soon as the Oilers clinch this win tonight, it will go back to a 3-point difference between Edmonton and Vegas. As we are getting ready now for period number 3. So we're getting ready to drop the puck here in the third. Yeah, games in hand for the Stars are going to come up big, Avi, but the Stars have to win those games in hand. That's the big thing. Stars have to take advantage of having those games, or it's going to be too little too late. So that playoff race in the West is going to be crazy, I think, right down till the final couple weeks of the season. Played around now, down low here, underway in the third. In the offensive zone, it's Anaheim trying to get their offense going in this game. Haven't done much yet, and obviously don't have anything on the scoreboard. As we are underway in the final 20 minutes now, working it down low in the corner. Back out high, long shot there. That one gets tipped wide. Played over now, up the boards it goes. Yamamoto gets checked, Ducks keep it in. Bouchard will play it through to Duncan Keith now. He's going to play it back to Evan Bouchard behind the net, and they're going to try and start a breakout. Ducks. Not able to keep it in now. Back the other way. Send in front here. That one's cleared out to the neutral zone. And no, Barry keeps it in. Good play there. Oilers get a shot in front of it. It's blocked out here high. Fogle back to Tyson Barry. Saved there by Gibson. Puck comes out. Side of the net, the other side. Ducks trying to get to it. They send it to the near side corner. Pass into the middle. Anaheim clears. Back out now. Played here by Edmonton in their own zone. Played here. 18:35 to go here in the third. Oilers back in, but they can't keep it in at the blue line. Other way now, Anaheim, they can't get it deep. Oilers take it. It's Puljujarvi into the offensive zone. Drops it for McDavid. McDavid shot in there and a save by Gibson. Rebound in front, ends up popping to the corner. Puljujarvi goes back to the point. Rimmed around the boards. Ducks take it. Back the other way. Just about 2 minutes into this one. We got a chance here now. It's passed into the middle by Milano. Doesn't connect with anybody. Evander Kane gets it back out to the neutral zone. Roger, what's going on? Welcome in. Thanks for being here. So Calgary's still sitting at 89 points. They are 4-4-2 in their last 10, so 500. They lost Thursday night in a shootout to the Kings, and then they lost They play yesterday too and they lost. It's actually the 2 losses in a row for Calgary are the first time they've lost multiple games in a row since January. Literally, the first time Calgary's lost multiple games in a row was these past 2 games since January for the Flames. I have a feeling they're going to get back on track here pretty quickly. They are a very, very good team, and I imagine they're going to get back on track here pretty quick. But LA did just beat them last week, and LA needs every point that they can get to try and stay in front of Edmonton. So LA might be coming out ready to go in that game. I would certainly hope so. Lauren, what's going on? Ready? Welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. Great to have you in the chat. I think that's going to be a big game for the Kings. Even more, well, it's a big game for the Flames too, trying to, make sure they lock down that number 1 spot. But the Kings are going to have some serious motivation for that one. 16:50 to go here in the third. Ducks back the other way into the offensive zone. Aston Reese shot, save there. Smith, rebound, and he scores! The shutout is broken as we finally get a goal on the board for the Anaheim Ducks. As Zach Aston Reese puts one home, it's a 4-1 game. And that is finally going to get the Ducks on the board here in the third period. I think it's going to be too little too late as far as a comeback is concerned. But it's nice to see the Ducks get a goal here because they have been thoroughly outplayed in this game. But it's nice to see them get on the board and not get shut out. So we got 16:40 to go here in the third. Ducks on the board. They may get 4-1. And Anaheim now. We'll see what they can do. Can they make this a comeback? Can they get a little bit closer? They're going to need another one here pretty quick if they want to really have a good shot at coming back. They're going to need another quick one. They're still down by 3. We'll see how the Oilers respond to this goal against as well. We'll see if they have some pushback or if they sit back a little bit. And this is going to be interesting to see how the momentum shifts here after that goal. Or if it does or doesn't shift at all. RA, what's going on? Welcome in. Yeah, after seeing the way that Anaheim's played over the last couple of months, I agree. I think as McDavid gets a good chance there on the break, but sends it wide. I think a coaching change for Anaheim probably wouldn't be a bad thing. They've just been so bad the last couple of months. I mean, I agree with you now that are saying that Eakins needs to go. I agree. I mean, this is literally a team that has like 1 win in their last 13 games. That's not acceptable. McDavid with a big chance there. Oh, that was Gibson with a blocker save. Gibson got a piece of that McDavid chance, just enough of it to keep it out and send it by the post. Neutral zone face-off here right outside of the Oilers' end. 15:45 to go in this one. 1 back by the Ducks, and they'll dump it in. Mayhew will chase after it against Barrie. And Tyson Barrie sends it up to Puljujarvi. Puljujarvi out of the zone, chip to the middle. Ducks get possession back. That goes off a skate, though. Here comes McDavid into the offensive end, trying to get around Drysdale. Passes it off, and that shot sent wide. Kept in by Brett Kulak. Now behind the net, it's Cam Fowler. D to Drysdale. Working it up now to Gerry Mayhew. Mayhew passes it back to the D-man. Fowler jumps into the play, brings it into the offensive zone. Pass off for Milano. Down low now, Kulak in the corner. Milano comes into forecheck. Played out in front there. That one goes by Zegras. Here's Fowler, long shot. Save there by Smith. Good save there by Mike Smith, and it's cleared out by the Oilers as we tick under 15 minutes to go in this one. Still a 4-1 lead here for Edmonton. Ducks showing a little bit of life, though, here in the third. They got that goal, and they're playing with a little bit more jump in their step. Here's McLeod, though, now stealing it for Edmonton. Nice pad save there by Gibson on the long shot. Anaheim trying to come back the other way. It goes off a skate. Knocked down at the red line. Fogle dumps it in. Rolls in on Gibson, who plays it to Andre Schuster behind the net. Vakanainen up the wall now. That one gets out, cleared there by the Ducks, but the Oilers get possession back. Long shot in, goes wide. And we get taken now by Urho Vakanainen, the former Boston Bruin. Came over in the Hampus Lindholm trade. Now back there for the Ducks. Played back to the blue line now. Schuster goes D to D with it. Top of the circle. Mahura pass into the middle, stolen by Zach Hyman. And that one's cleared out of the zone now by Edmonton. That was a bad turnover there by the Ducks. Just pass into the middle where it was only an Oiler there. There was no point to that pass. Chance back the other way now. Backhanded in. And Mike Smith makes a huge save. What a great opportunity there for the Ducks to try and cut it to a 2-goal game. And that certainly would have made things interesting with this much time left. But Mike Smith with a monster save. And he's going to cover that one up as we head to our first commercial break of the third period. And this game stays 4-1. Edmonton with the lead. And we'll head to the commercial stoppage now. Offensive zone faceoff coming up for the Ducks. They can still make this interesting if they get another one before the 10-minute mark, for sure. They can make this interesting. But that was a huge stop from Smith there. Appreciate all you guys watching. Thank you so much for being here. Please don't forget it. Hit that thumbs up and subscribe. It means so much and helps the channel a ton. I cover the entire NHL, so fans of all teams, welcome and wanted here. It's great to have everybody in the chat. Drop my upcoming stream schedule again for the rest of this week so you guys know what's coming up. Again, unfortunately, I had to change tomorrow night's stream to the Bruins and Blue Jackets because I can't watch the Tampa Bay-Toronto game because it's on NHL Network, which absolutely sucks because I was really, really looking forward to that game and what a battle that's going to be. But NHL Network stole it, and I don't have NHL Network, so I can't watch it. Derek, what's going on? Welcome in. Thank you for being here. Really, really appreciate it. But we got some big games coming up. Minnesota versus Nashville is a big one in the Central Division. Tampa Bay versus Washington should be a good game. Pittsburgh versus the New York Rangers is likely a playoff preview. Vancouver versus Vegas is going to have big playoff implications as well. So there's some big games coming up here. One back now. Long shot goes wide. It's a wraparound chance. That one, Carrot couldn't tuck it in the post. And the Oilers will clear it back out with 13.5 to go. Derek, I'm doing well. How are you? Thank you for being here. Awesome to see you in the chat. Really appreciate it. Oilers back up now into the offensive end, but they are offsides. We'll get a quick whistle with 13:20 remaining. Nelson, because there's no automatic clock that's actually accurate, and I would not be able to keep up with starting and stopping the clock every time there's a whistle. I am way too focused on other things that are happening, like the chat and like the game that's going on. So unless they come up with some way to do an automatic clock where it's just running and is accurate, because if you go off NHL.com, it's way behind. So it wouldn't be right. So I don't feel like there's any point in having a clock if it's not going to be right. And I definitely don't feel like stopping and starting it every time. So it's a lot easier for me to just say the time remaining. Moved out now. Anaheim clears it to the neutral zone. Oilers trying to send it back. McDavid can't get it through. Dominic Simone into the offensive zone. Now it's Puljujarvi. Oilers on the attack. Cycled down low. Drysdale gets there first. Back behind the net. Played to the corner now. Simone with it. Up the wall. Stolen by Puljujarvi. Long shot there. BC Transportation. Take a guess. Look at the scoreboard and take a guess, because that pretty much tells the story of this game. Back down low behind now. Worked out in front. That one goes by everybody. Oilers get to it, and they clear it again. 12:20 to go here in the third. Zegras trying to bring it back in. Here's Mayhew. Gerry Mayhew came over from the Philadelphia Flyers through a waiver transaction. That one deflects wide. The collapse of the Anaheim Ducks over the last couple of months, Nathan, very, very, very bad. You know, they've just been brutal for a couple of months now. As that one goes over. Yeah, he's still a good young goalie, Terry. I think he's got a lot of potential going forward. Yeah, Capitals got destroyed by the Wild tonight, but I don't like the Capitals' chances in the playoffs, but they are going to make the playoffs. I mean, they would have to like lose almost all of their remaining games to get knocked out at this point. We had a big conversation about that earlier during the first period. Everyone was talking about the Islanders and Capitals, and the Islanders playing really well, but there's still so many points back that the Capitals would literally have to like only win like 3 more games or 4 more games to actually lose that spot, which I don't see happening because both the Islanders and Capitals have very difficult remaining schedules. I do think that the Capitals are going to lose round 1, though. Absolutely think they're out round 1. Because they're either going to play the Panthers or the Hurricanes. I don't see Washington getting by Carolina or Florida. Yeah. An 11-point differential with less than a month left in the season. That'd be a miracle. That'd be an absolute miracle if the Islanders could pull that comeback off, but I don't think it's going to happen because there is 11:07 left to go in this game, Nelson, and the Oilers have pretty much been in control of most of this game. Kulak throws that one in, down behind the net now, played by Cassian. Tries to get through to Brassard. Grant takes it, though, back for the Ducks, plays it to his defenseman, and then it's up and out of the zone. Oilers try and bring it back in. Quick transition. Cassian's pass doesn't get through, though. And here comes Anaheim now. Up over the blue line into the offensive zone. Lundestrom taken now by Carrick. Sam Carrick around the net looking for a wraparound through the crease, but nobody could tuck it home. Smith is down. Long shot here. And Smith gloves it from his side. Mike Smith was still down on the ice. The shot came all the way from the point, and he makes the save with the glove and covers that one up here with 10:24 to go in the third. Edmonton remains up by 3 here now as we tick towards the halfway point of this period. Christine, what's going on? Welcome in. Thank you for being here. Really, really appreciate it. Awesome to see you in the chat. We get an ozone draw now for the Ducks. One back, though, defensively by the Oilers. They go off the boards and get it out to the neutral zone. Here comes Edmonton. Just pass just too far in front. And the Ducks will regroup now in their own zone. 10:07 to go here in the third. Moved up now by Anaheim as we tick halfway through this period. Minnesota is playing extremely well right now. I mean, we've known most of the year that Minnesota's a playoff team. They've been in a playoff spot for pretty much the entire year, but they're getting really, really hot right now. They've played great recently. And I think they're going to be a dangerous team. I would not want to face them in the playoffs. I think they're going to be a dangerous team. Moved over now to Duncan Keith. He goes D-to-D with it. Bouchard, long shot in. Gibson able to get a piece of it. Stephanie, welcome in. Thank you so much for watching. Awesome to have you here. Thanks for coming by, and thank you very much. I'm glad you're enjoying the stream. Back down below now. Drysdale plays it up the wall. Anaheim trying to get it out. Good pinch, though, from Yamamoto coming off the bench, giving them some trouble. Second chance, though. Ducks clear to the neutral zone. Regrouping now with it. D-to-D play. Fowler gets it across. Up the wall now, and Anaheim dumps it into the Edmonton end. Mayhew will chase after against Nurse. Nurse loses an edge and goes down into the end boards. Milano comes away with the puck. 8:50 to go here in the third period. Ducks down by 3. Oilers have played a very good game tonight overall. And they're just looking to make sure that they play a solid rest of the period, skate out of here with 2 points, and they will be within 1 point of the LA Kings for second spot in the Pacific Division. The only problem is that LA has also been winning, and Vegas has also been winning. So, like, all of these teams in the Pacific that need wins have been winning, with the exception of the Vancouver Canucks. But they haven't been able to really, like, change the point differential with each other because they're matching each other's wins. So it's kind of stayed either a 3-point difference or a 1-point difference between LA and Edmonton. And then Vegas and Edmonton has either been a 3-point difference or a 1-point difference or a 2-point difference. It's been bouncing around close. But we head to a commercial break here. Down now to about 8 minutes to go in this one. Edmonton up by 3. Certainly looks to be in good shape, barring any sort of spectacular comeback from the Ducks. They're looking good in this one so far, for sure. Appreciate everybody watching. Great to have you all in the chat tonight. We've had a good chance to talk and just discuss a lot of different NHL-related topics here tonight, which has been a lot of fun. Edmonton's going to go to 85 points now with this win here tonight and extend their winning streak to 4 games. Vegas, I believe, with the win tonight, extends their winning streak to 5 games, if I'm not mistaken. Vegas has now won 5 in a row, and they're 7-3 in their last 10. So Vegas is getting hot, trying to get into a playoff spot. Kings have won 2 in a row, including a big one over Calgary. Calgary's actually been struggling out of all of these playoff teams in the Pacific right now. Calgary's been struggling at 4-4-2 in their last 10. Vancouver's also struggling at just 3-4-3 in their last 10. And now they are 8 points out of a playoff spot now. Man, Vancouver is getting close to being too far back. I would say if Wednesday night Vegas and Vancouver play again, if Vegas wins that game, I think Vancouver's done. Back the other way now. That one brought up ice into the offensive end by Draisaitl. We've got 8:20 to go now in the third. Ducks take the puck. Score prediction. Honestly, I think it's good. I'm going to say it stays 4-1, Emmanuel. I'm going to say 4-1 Oilers. I think it's just going to stay how it is now, although Zach Hyman trying to change that in there. Gibson with a big save there on Hyman. So he tried to get in behind the D. If the Canucks win that game on Wednesday, I mean, they would at least cut it to a 6-point difference, which is unlikely, but still not completely out of it. As that one rolls in, and I am wrong about the score staying the same. The Edmonton Oilers score again, and it is 5-1 now. Oilers with 7:47 to go. Brett Kulak shot from the point, squeaks through John Gibson and into the net, and it is back to a 4-goal lead for the Oilers. So much for the score staying the same. Edmonton gets another one here. It is 5-1 now as they extend the lead back to 4. And I think that absolutely puts this one away. Absolutely puts this one away. Wilder 11-2-2 in their last 15. Yeah, they're a very, very hot team right now. Obviously, they're not going to catch Colorado as far as the regular season standings go, but boy, do I think they could give Colorado a real series in the playoffs. If they meet in the second round, which is definitely a possibility, they could give Colorado a real tough series. Is this one passed in front by Fogle, but it's deflected on the way through away from Derek Ryan. It's taken up now. Yes, BC. As that one's dumped in by Anaheim back the other way. 7:10 now to go in the third. Trying to work this one in front. Mike Smith able to make the save there as they drive the net. Back out now to Schuster into the middle. Comtois, his shot gets blocked. Oilers knock it down, and they're going to carry it out of the zone. I mean, yeah, Minnesota's got a very good team, Terry, but I mean, I think they're looked at as more of a dark horse in the playoffs. I don't think there aren't many people looking at Minnesota as a favorite because they're going to have to go through Colorado. They're going to have to go through Colorado, which is not going to be easy. But I do think that they can give Colorado a very tough series as Mike Smith makes a nice save there and covers that one up with 6:31 to go in the third. We get another whistle here and an offensive zone faceoff coming up for Anaheim, but it is certainly going to be too little too late, even if they do score. Jim, what's going on? Welcome in. Thanks for coming by. So, the Islanders, well, they had a lot of injuries this year, and they also they started out the season all on the road. They had like 13 or 14 straight road games to start the year because their new home arena wasn't finished yet. So that was very tough. Then as soon as they started to get home games, they had a massive COVID outbreak and they had to play a bunch of games with like 6, 7, 8 guys out of the lineup. So they lost a bunch of those games. And it really just dug a huge hole for them at the beginning of the season that they really struggled to climb out of. And they just, they haven't been able to climb out of this massive hole from early in the year. I'd like to see the Islanders try and get a little bit younger, but that's obviously a lot easier said than done. But I think they need to get a little bit younger overall. They're one of the oldest teams in the NHL. They rely on a lot of players who are 30-plus years old, and I think they need to infuse a little bit more younger talent into that lineup. I would definitely expect a trade or two this offseason. Oilers are playing great right now, Derek. Playing absolutely great right now. We head to another commercial break here. About 6 minutes to go in this one. Oilers obviously going to win this game. I think it really depends on their playoff matchup in round 1, BC. I think the Kings are going to be such a wild card come playoff time. Like, assuming LA gets in, and I do, looking at the schedules ahead, I think I'm going to start doing some videos on like road to the playoff type videos for some of these bubble teams and kind of look at the schedule ahead for them. Because I think those would make pretty interesting videos. The Kings have enough winnable games the rest of the way against opponents that they should be beating that I think the Kings are, I'm pretty certain that they're going to get in. And again, they only need about 10 more points, and I think they're locked in. I think the playoff line in the West is going to be around 95, 96 points, I think. Vegas is at 82 right now at the cutoff with 11 games remaining. Dallas, though, got 15 games remaining at 81 points. So Dallas has a lot left. I think the cutoff line is going to end up probably around 95 or 96 points in the West. So if LA, who's at 86 right now, if they get 5 more wins, that's obviously 10 more points. That's 96. I think they're in if they get 96. But I don't know what to expect from them in the playoffs. I don't know what to they're such a wild card because no one was really expecting them to make the playoffs. So, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to look like in, come postseason time. I feel like the Kings are a team that could ramp their game up in the playoffs and get even better, or they could completely be overmatched in the playoffs. And I wouldn't be surprised either way with that team. I have no clue what to think of them because they're very much a wild card. Like you don't know what to expect with LA. 5.5 now to go here in the third. Oilers lift it up and out of the zone to the red line. And they dump it in. Ducks have to go back and regroup. Oilers with 42 shots on goal in this game. Obviously, 5 of them in the back of the net. Ducks have gotten up to 30 shots on goal, but only 1 of them able to actually go in. And this has been a one-sided game on the scoreboard for sure, as we tick down to 5 minutes remaining here in the third period. Ducks trying to backhand it out of their zone. Brought up now, jumping into the play. 4-on-3 up ice, now 4-on-4, and they just dump it in and peel off for a line change. He could, Terry. He absolutely could. He played great on Thursday against the Kings in the game that I watched. He played awesome in that game, and I'm not sure how Saturday's game went. I know they won Saturday. Oh, Draisaitl behind, shot there, and he just sends it wide. I know they won on Saturday, but I didn't see the game personally, but if Peterson gets hot, that could change things come playoff time. That could make them a little more dangerous. Mikanak, what's going on? Welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. Brought in now. Yamamoto can't get through the D. Off the boards now. Ducks trying to get it out. Not able to. Kept in here again by the Oilers. Yeah, I'm honestly really hoping for a Colorado-Minnesota series, as we get another goal here by Edmonton, and that one is from Leon Draisaitl, as he blasts one by John Gibson, trying to go side to side, and that is going to make it 6-1 Oilers here, and they continue to pile it on with the goals for. And that is goal number 50 for Leon Draisaitl. He was at 49 going into this game. He gets his 50th of the season, and Edmonton takes a 6-1 lead now over the Anaheim Ducks. They are just blowing them out of the building here tonight. And congratulations to Leon hitting the 50-goal mark. Austin Matthews did it a few nights ago, and now Leon Draisaitl joins him as a 50-goal guy this season in the NHL, and I certainly don't think that those two will be the only 50-goal guys, as we still got quite a few games to go and a lot of guys in the 40s that can also get to 50 this year, but Matthews and Draisaitl the first to do it, and congratulations there to Leon. We're down to 3:33 to go in the third period here. And Oilers obviously dominating this game. Exactly, Nathan. Honestly, if Peterson isn't playing well going into the playoffs, then we'll probably see Jonathan Quick start, because Jonathan Quick obviously has the experience and has won in the playoffs. Now, he certainly isn't the same goaltender that he was back when the Kings were winning Stanley Cups with him and stuff like that. He's declined quite a bit, especially with all the injuries that he's had in his career. He's not the same goalie he was back then, but he could get hot in the postseason again. You never know with a guy like that who's had that postseason success before. But it's going to be interesting to see, because the Kings, if they get into the playoffs, are just such a wild card team that I just don't know what to expect from. 3 minutes to go here in the third. That one's rimmed all the way around. Oilers back into the offensive zone. Long shot in there. That one just gets sent wide. Man, they're keeping Gibson in here for all of these goals against. I kind of feel bad for him. Brought up now. Milano can't get the puck deep. That one gets sent around. And the Ducks chase it back to their own zone. 2:35 to go here in the third. That one gets sent down. Trying to take it around now. Worked up through the neutral zone. Off the boards in deep. Here's Milano to the corner. Gets it pinned along the wall. Trying to cycle it deep. Looking to send it back now to the point. Up the boards it goes. Hyman's there, though, for Edmonton. And just digging for it here. Board battle with 2 minutes remaining in the third. Played into the middle now. Zegras tries to feather one through on the backhand, but it's too far behind his teammate. Zegras has it now with Yamamoto all over him. And they wrestle the puck away down in the corner. Back the other way now. Here comes Edmonton over the red line. And Yamamoto gets knocked down by Vakanainen. 1:35 to go here in the third. Move to the middle. Up ice it goes over the red line into the offensive end. Yeah, this has definitely been a tough one, Lauren. This has not been a good performance for the Ducks. As Anaheim brings that one in. Good shot, but Smith makes another save as we tick down to 1:10 to go here in the game. Anaheim working around in the offensive zone. Long shot, high up, and that one gets gloved by Mike Smith, and now we get a whistle. Sam Carrick and Smith getting into a little bit here. Cassian comes right in, though. Cassian has some words with Carrick. 1:06 to go here in the third. And it's going to be an offensive zone faceoff for the Anaheim Ducks, but obviously Edmonton in dominating this one so far. Mercifully, we're down to about the final minute here. 6-1 lead for the Oilers. Seattle still up 1-0 over Dallas. It'd be a huge, huge win for Seattle helping Vegas. It'd be a huge win for Vegas if Seattle can win that game over the Stars, because that would help out Vegas tremendously. No, the Anaheim Ducks are certainly not making the playoffs. Yeah, Vander Kane's done pretty well with Edmonton, Christine. Absolutely. He's fit in well, and he's been a good addition for them. And I think his physicality come playoff time is going to help them a lot in playoff style hockey too. That's something that the Oilers don't have a ton of. So the guys in the lineup that do bring that are very, very important. Darnell Nurse, Zach Cassian, Evander Kane, those guys that bring the physicality are going to be needed in the playoffs. That one's backed out now, taken by Brassard. Final 15 seconds now of the third period as Cassian brings it into the offensive zone. Throws it in front there. It's stuck away by Gibson to Henrique on the sideboards. Passes it back behind the net. Final seconds will tick off the clock now. This game's over. Horn sounds. We are done. It's a 6-1 win for the Edmonton Oilers over the Anaheim Ducks here tonight. Dominating fashion as the Oilers extend their winning streak to 4 and continue to play extremely good hockey here. 7-2-1 in their last 10 in going into this game. Obviously, another win here tonight, and a big one for the Oilers as they cut the gap down to 1 point between them and the Los Angeles Kings for second place in the Pacific Division. So, appreciate everybody being here. Thank you guys all so much for watching. It was awesome to get a chance to talk to you. I obviously wish it was a better game. And wish it was a little bit closer, but we had a good opportunity to talk a lot in the chat tonight. Absolutely, Christine. The new coach has done wonders. I don't think there's any way the Oilers would be playing this good if Dave Tippett was still the coach. Jay Woodcroft has come in, done a very, very good job with this team, and has gotten them playing a lot better than they were. So I think he deserves a lot of credit. But that is going to bring us to the end of the stream here tonight. Again, appreciate you guys all being here. Games coming up on stream all week this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night, including a doubleheader on Wednesday. It is going to be a fun week of hockey. Appreciate you guys again so much. And hope you all have a great night. If you before you head out, it would really mean a lot if you could hit the subscribe button and thumbs up on the stream if you haven't yet. I cover the entire NHL, so fans of all teams welcome and wanted here. Just trying to build a community where everybody can come together, have some fun, and enjoy hockey. Got some fun games coming up this week. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Have a great rest of your night. Have a great day tomorrow, and hopefully we'll be talking soon. Until then, thank you guys so much. Have a great night, and we'll see you next time.